tell you what's changed right now. In a different field, different lane right now. Now I'm in the murk, switching lanes right now. Passive income getting paid right now. Used to roll around with sinners, bulldozers and killers. Now we focused on figures, 3-course meals for dinners, 5-star suites and villas. Now the swag hit different, cause the bag is different. The tab is...
Your vibe's not really, it's not really a lawyer vibe.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Because you're actually a creative lawyer.
I'm actually a creative lawyer.
Okay.
Yeah, begin. So, can I stop at some point to go and refill my drink?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Listen, this is going to be completely informal and you can do whatever you want to do. It's going to be heavily edited. But anyway, this is called This Can't Come Out. Yeah?
Yeah.
Are you filming me?
It's my own promo, yeah? Go on.
Okay. This is called This Can't Come Out. So basically, we're going to have beautiful, unfiltered conversations. Now, obviously, when you're being so unfiltered, it means you're probably going to say some things that we don't want the rest of the world to hear. And for that reason, I send it to you first and foremost. And then before anything comes out, you have to give me the sign-off on it. Sweet.
That makes sense as to why this can't come out, because it's like, okay, cool.
And how I usually like to start is, how do we know each other, isn't it?
Shit, how do we know each other? Shola.
Yeah, that's my assumption would be. You're basically, they don't know that you're in a gang called Plan A.
It's not a gang. It's an organised crime syndicate. No, you know what it is like? So I'm part of Plan A, yeah? It's something that you can't really join.
Yeah,
you're born into.
Or married into it.
I'm not going to lie.
And still, that's not even enough. Some people are married into Plan A, but not. Really, yeah.
You're there. We can acknowledge your existence now. Do you know what it is? I feel like the starting point is really beautiful because our parents...
They're in a gang as well, yeah.
They're in a gang, but they're in an organised gang, as in they have regularly meetings,
Really?
They have minutes of the meeting. Like,
wow.
They invest, like it's organised.
Really? They invest?
Yes. They're like, okay, something is happening. Okay, we're putting our investments together. They are organised.
Wow.
We've not reached that level of organisation yet, but...
How many years you don't need? You guys have been doing this since I'm as far as I'm concerned, Plan A is over 15 years old.
Yeah, because we were kids though.
When are you going to start getting serious?
Now we're getting to the point. Everyone's starting to have kids now. So now we're getting to the point where like, okay, let's actually organise. But the beautiful story is our parents formed a community when they either moved here or like relocated to the UK from Nigeria. And it was like, okay, let me introduce you to my friend so-and-so. And then they formed a group. And as a result of them hanging out, they had kids and then we started to hang out. Yeah.
That's actually beautiful.
It's so beautiful.
That's actually amazing. And certain times I look at Plan A and it's like, I'm quite envious of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, as in, you're saying like, I should be.
No,
Fuck Plan A. Yeah. But as in, like,
But you're like an honorary member though.
I'm not, listen, I don't want to be Plan A. I'm not Plan A. It's nice to know, but it's basically, I probably interviewed so many Plan A people already, isn't it? So it's like an extended...
Who have you interviewed?
I've done Shay Mumbles.
Yeah.
Tips.
Shaya.
Why is it in Shaya, not Shay?
His name's not Shay, you know?
Well, is everybody that spells it like that, are they Shaya? Shaya. Wait, it's Shay. Shay is a name, right?
Shay is a name.
That's my brother.
Yeah, my brother's name's Shay, but there's Shaya.
Oh, no, he's Shay, boy.
No, he's...
Oh, fuck, he's Mumbles then, innit? Wow.
Mumbles.
I didn't clock that. Shay's with an I, isn't it?
Yeah, and Shay's with an E, like with an E.
Oh, wow. I thought that, because, certain times I say my own name and my parents are like, oh, yeah, you're not saying it correctly.
What, Dammy?
Yeah, like, Olua Dami Lola.
Oh,
like, I'm not...
The emphasis is not on...
Yeah, on the right word. So I thought maybe it was one of those ones, isn't it? Yeah, well, why are you so aft then? How do you know how to...
Because I went to school in Nigeria. I was sent back. I was one of those people...
Really?
I was one of those people that was sent back. Like, everyone threatened, like, their parents threatened, I will send you back you will go back to Nigeria.
You went back?
Yeah.
So you were bad?
9. I wasn't bad.
Why did you get sent back then?
My brothers were already there. They were bad. And so it got...
Wait, how many brothers have you got? There's 2, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know what's crazy? One of them I never ever see, isn't it?
Yes, in the shadows.
Yeah.
But he was
the wedding. Yeah. I saw him. This is me. What? There's another one. Yeah.
You see the big one. There's the older one, Sam. Yeah, he's there. But Popsy, as and when certain key events. So they had already... So they got sent back. And then...
Why? For being naughty?
being naughty or whatever. I don't know, man.
Well, sometimes it's because parents, I've seen it firsthand in my family, it's because parents are like, this is long, man.
Raising children is actually, now that I have 2 kids, I can tell you it's long.
2? Oh my, I have no idea who you are. Wait, have you got a boy and a girl now?
2 girls.
What? I saw you had a boy as well.
No, I never had a boy.
Oh my God. You know, there's so many kids on Plan A that this is really... Wait, so how old are your children?
4 and 1.
Oh my God. This is crazy.
To be honest, it's not really public knowledge because I'm not really like a motherhood poster like that.
Uh-huh.
I prefer for people to look at my Instagram and not know that I have children.
Interesting.
Do you know why? Because the motherhood thing is weird. Like, you know, the motherhood Instagram is weird. You know that? You don't know.
I know it's weird. From the outside looking in, I see the people, you know when they hide their child's face and then all of a sudden they reveal...
Let me tell you why it's odd. Because you see people like posting stuff and be like, I know he hasn't got his seatbelt on. I'm like, who gives stuff? Like, you're so censored. Like, you're so on edge that someone's going to criticize your decisions as a parent. That my thing is like, you will never know that I have children.
I get why they would be like that though. Which is the same reason I get why you wouldn't post.
Yeah.
Because it makes everyone so judgmental.
I don't want to give anyone any license or any comfortability to be like, oh, let me tell her that actually her child should have. Don't put the. Don't
you gave them two
lollipops.
Yeah.
Do you know, like sugar does this to like I ain't got time for that. I haven't got time for that. So
I understand why you'll be guarded.
And I'm not even guarded. You just know your freaking business. Like every now and then, so my daughter graduated from, I know it's a thing that they graduate from nursery. It's a joke, but
wait. Has anyone been not graduated before?
I don't. Obviously, we're there as parents where everyone's looking around like, this is nonsense. What kind of nonsense? I had another parent that was like, listen, her daughter just finished secondary school. She's like, this 4-year-old has had more celebration than my daughter that finished secondary school, like GCSEs. And I'm just like, this is
do they make you pay for a gown and stuff?
No, you don't pay for it, but they put it on together. She had a gown, the full gown, hat, everything, certificate, medal, cake.
Well, you know, there's some positivities I could take from this.
What's the positive? I guess there's a memory for them.
Yeah, if it's a beautiful night out, they might aspire to then do this in the future again. Oh, as a child, I really, really enjoyed this.
No, we were there at 2:00 being like, we took the afternoon off for this.
I get why you lot would be pissed off for this.
I was just like, and also meanwhile, like my daughter didn't care. Because apparently my daughter had already so the teacher said to me like, oh, a few weeks ago, she's done with nursery. She's already told us, like, she's going to primary school. She's not interested. She's not listening. She's done. So she don't listen to instructions. She told the teacher, I've finished nursery now.
What did she mean?
Like, as in...
Like, this is long.
I've done everything. I'm ahead of you guys. That's my daughter.
Wow.
Like, don't... So,
is she, like, proper bright?
She's so intelligent.
Oh, wow.
So they say to her, like, okay, we're going to go and do story time. Read it, memorize. Like, and actually, in fact, when they told me the story of the day is 3 Little Pigs, I'm thinking, this book that she knew by heart, like at 18 months, like. So that's
how children become naughty, you know.
They're like,
it's like, come on, man, you can't make me read the 3 Little Pigs again.
She's not been listening, and I'm like, okay, why? And she's like, in all fairness, I feel like she's done with nursery. Like, she's just done.
Wait, where is she now?
She's doing nursery, innit? Because we're paying for it. She starts school in September, but obviously, and she's looking at me like, trying to see my reaction. And I was like, are you done? And she kind of winked at me and I gave her a high five, like, don't worry.
That's so beautiful, man. I would love a small little child like that.
Like, be done, because real talk, you lot there reading 3 Little Pigs, like, really? Like,
you speak to her like a human, like.
I speak to her like she's in a great... 4-year-olds nowadays, they're on a different level.
Yeah, I got a 6-year-old. No, this guy's he's a naughty little child.
Is that your nephew?
No, he's actually my cousin, but he's just so young that it's like uncle nephew vibes. But this guy, so you know, he goes to school at 12 o'clock because they can't have him. They don't want him between 8:40 and 9. He's not have to start school normal time no more.
No, that's wild.
Yeah, so he has to be homeschooled until 12, and then he apparently. The other day, they left him in the garden or something, and then he picked up some like garden utensil and started chasing the teacher with it. So they said that he should come to that now he should come to school at 1:30. And my auntie,
but school fees is like free.
yeah. And my auntie's like, whoa, like you don't think you're punishing the child, but you're punishing me.
Yeah.
Whoa, what am I supposed to do? Take him there and just stay around or hang around, and then it's because they can't handle him. And the thing is, but the guy's a naughty boy.
Yeah, but he probably also has a bit of hyper intelligence somewhere.
He's smart.
That's not smart. Being
he's smart.
tapped in. Now these kids these days, they've clocked life.
But what sort of conversations do you have with her?
Okay, I'll give you an example. So on Monday, my dad passed away a few years ago.
Condolences.
Thank you. On Monday, it was the 3-year anniversary of his passing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting her ready for bed, and she comes and hugs me. She's like, "I miss my granddad." She was like 1 when he died. I'm looking, And I thought, oh, she got 2 granddads. One is still alive, right? So I'm thinking, let me not say, okay, which one or whatever. So I just, I miss him too. And she came down, she was like, but he's a star now. So we've had a discussion about what happens when you die. I'm like, maybe you go and be a star. Like, I'm just having this thing. Mm-hmm. She's like, but he's a star now. She gives that look like, and she's like looking at me, trying to get a reaction. Mm-hmm. She's like, he misses you. And we're having a real conversation. And I'm like, so this whole star thing, I'm like, how that came about? Because I was like, I don't know what happened. Like where is he? Like, she's like, what's heaven? I'm like, I don't know how to explain this to a 4-year-old. Like, so I'm like, maybe it's like around, she's like a star. I'm like, yeah, in the sky. So she's obviously built this theory. And this is like, we had this conversation like a year ago. But she remembers that stuff.
Wow.
And just by coincidence, on the anniversary of his death, I didn't tell her. She comes and hugs me. She's like, I miss my granddad. Wow. But he's a star now. So he's okay. And she's like smiling at me and she's patting me.
Wow, that might even be God.
She's comforting me like, it's okay.
You reckon you needed that at that time?
Absolutely. Because I looked at my husband like, did you tell her? He's like, no. Like, I even forgot. Like, and I was like, okay. And then she's looking, and then what's the worst thing? She's looking at me in my eyes like
that's beautiful, man.
Like, I know this stuff. Like, they know this stuff. And they're almost like waiting for you to clock that they're aware. Like, don't treat me like I'm stupid. Like, I know. So once, from like a year ago, I just like level with her.
Wow, do you know, when did you stop the baby talk?
I don't think I ever really had it, to be honest. Like,
not goo goo gaga, just
no.
hey, how are you doing?
Like, I will tell her, like, you're frustrating my life.
Oh, wow.
Like, when she's doing her madness, I'm like, you're actually making me stressed out. What's stress? I'm like, okay, let me explain stress to you, you know? Like,
and she takes it in?
She takes it in. And she's like,
I want a smart child so bad, man. Wait, so what's your 1-year-old like currently?
My 1-year-old is like...
wait, I don't want like how your face lit up even more.
Gra.
Okay.
Like, she was here, she'll be knocking everything. Bang. Like, we call her Bam Bam, you know, like Flintstones. Bam Bam. She'll be knocking everything. Like, she is a tornado.
Well, wait, how is she closer to 2 or closer to 1?
She's 1.5 years.
A year and a half.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Like,
cool,
literally to the date, like Monday, 1.5 years.
All this gra made me realise, why did you go back to Nigeria again? So, yes, explain that story.
So, why I was heading back to Nigeria?
Yeah.
Obviously, okay, so my thing was, I'm a straight A student, and I've been that. Like, so I feel like that was my pass away from being naughty. However, I'm still a teenage girl. So this is like year 8, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I got a bit of a mouth, and I was kicked out of like almost every class. Partly because I already done the work. I know, rather than teachers looking and be like, okay, she's done the work, so maybe give her more. So I was seen as disruptive in class because I was talking. Or apparently I was influencing other people to talk, but meanwhile I'd done the work in it and they hadn't.
Yeah, that's
Is that my fault?
No, but still, that they usually look down at people that as worse. Because I was like that as well, isn't it? Like, that's when you get decent grades or good grades and you're disturbing other people from not getting education, they look at you as a problem. I
wasn't disturbing anybody.
Are you sure? But you're talking to people. Talking is disturbing.
They were talking to me.
Okay, cool.
I can't
so how come they didn't get in trouble?
That was my point. Why is it only me that gets in trouble? Because I think that there's, okay, partially right, but there's also like, oh, you should be setting a good example. I didn't ask to be a role model. I know that I've done the work. So why should I be in trouble because they haven't done the work but they're still chatting? like...
Yeah, I feel you.
So I get kicked out of classes a lot, especially in maths class. I got kicked out of maths class almost every single class.
Mm-hmm.
Like even sometimes I would set a record of how quickly I can get kicked out.
Really?
Yeah.
You understand? Wait, what sort of school did you go to?
I went to a Catholic school.
Wait, and
It was
what, in
quite
what
strict.
area?
In East London, Seven Kings.
Seven Kings?
Yeah.
And what, the majority of the school black, the majority of it what,
It
mixed?
was very mixed, like black, Asian, white.
Was it known to be a good school?
Very good school. And my
Okay.
teacher was black. You would have thought that.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Barrett. He kicked me out
Yeah,
every
but sometimes
class.
because they're black.
And then he'll come out and he'll give me the speech,
Uh-huh.
shoulder shaking. I want the best for you. And I'm just like...
Oh, that's nice of him, though, looking
why
back at it now.
but you kicked me out of the class.
Just so I can have this one-on-one with you.
And then parents' evening, and
Oh,
also,
that would be it.
my parents were the kind of people that
They would love your
worked hard,
teacher.
but they will never, ever miss a parents' evening. And no matter what the teacher said, they're siding with the teacher. It doesn't matter.
That's what you call a good parent.
You think?
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I feel like you need to believe your children. Like at that point in time,
But were you telling the truth, though?
yes. No, listen. When you're at parents' evening, in front of other people, defend your child.
Nah.
When you leave, then you hot your child up. But we're united.
Yeah, no, okay. What I say, no. My vibe is with the teacher. Yeah, when you're speaking to the teacher parents' evening, boom, boom, boom. Have them. Just don't beat the child in front of everybody, or you know what I'm saying. Don't embarrass your child in front of the whole school. But when you go home, get onto your child. But have good rapport with the teacher, because at the end of the day, unless you're willing to homeschool that child, you need to have a good rapport with that teacher, because they can make your child's life a living hell.
Yeah. So this guy, he kept telling everybody and my parents that it was for my best interest, but like, where's the evidence of that? Because you keep kicking me out.
We said that they go to Nigeria.
I'm in top set, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm the only black person in top set, and I'm the only one that you're kicking out. So to me, I'm like...
Oh, wow.
I don't know. Anyway, so eventually...
But he said it was in your best interest to kick you out, he said.
Yeah.
Okay, not to send you to Nigeria.
But he was like, I can kick you out because I know that you've done the work already. Because also my parents I'm from a very background of like education. So I've had a tutor since I can remember.
Oh, wow, okay.
So best believe...
What, Kumon or...
I did Kumon. I did everything.
Okay.
Best believe when I'm in class, I'm like, is this it? So he's like, I already know. Like, he basically said to me, I can afford to kick you out from top set because I know that you've done the work and it's not going to affect you. But now you're being like, you're hindering other students' progress.
I believe him. I believe him. Like, you've done the work, boom, and obviously you're talking, they're talking as well, but they don't know any better because they're not doing the work, isn't it? So.
Listen, that's true, but what's also true is that you have a student that's excelling, that you're not actually giving work to match to that level. And that's the problem that you have with your nephew, son, friend, not your friend, your nephew, cousin, friend, right? Because,
yeah.
Quite frankly, maybe he needs more challenging work.
Yeah,
like
he definitely needs to be engaged, isn't he?
Maybe he needs to be gifted and talented, where actually, for maths, he should be sitting the GCSE already. Like, maybe I should have sat the GCSE in year 8.
Oh, right.
And got it out.
You reckon?
Maybe. Because also, like, okay, me going back to Nigeria in year 9 was one aspect, but I also schooled in Nigeria when I was younger. So my family have a school. So there's certain things
no, man. I didn't know that. Okay, yeah.
So there's certain things that, like, you know, Nigerian education, like maths, we don't play around.
Yeah.
Like, when you study in Nigeria maths and you come back to the UK, you're thinking, you lot are like 3 years behind.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Like, easily. So it's like you're not accounting for those differences. So thankfully, my parents they filled that shortfall with tutors and camps and whatever. But actually, maybe I should have taken my GCSE early.
Wait, so why did they send you back, though?
So they sent me back because
you were naughty?
I think there was one particular incident that I had a fight with this girl.
Oh, wow. Did you win, first and foremost? Oh, don't tell me you lost.
I didn't lose.
Okay. Nah, it sounded like you lost.
I didn't lose, but...
You didn't win.
She gave a better performance than I anticipated that she would give.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so it was kind of an L because you...
I was like, oh, she can swing. But she was a racist.
Why did you fight her?
Because she was a racist bitch.
What did she say?
I don't want to repeat it.
Oh, okay, cool.
So, I mean, we're talking about year 7, year 8 now.
Well, if you saw her, would you recognize her?
A little bit, maybe.
Oh, okay. And did you ever rekindle a relationship with her since then?
Not.
Oh, wow.
So we had a fight.
Uh-huh.
I think it got to the point where she had said enough racist stuff that she was Kosovan.
Mm-hmm.
That.
Oh, wow. During that period when they wait, they've changed their name now. So Kosovo's not even a... No, Kosovo doesn't exist no more.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, so what did they change that to?
What did Kosovo? I think it became like broader Yugoslavia, and then it split into like individual.
Yeah, because do you know, I've been growing up and I realised certain countries that were around when I was in year 6 like what's it, Zaire? I didn't know that's the same country as Congo. Yeah. I didn't know that. I was like, what happened to Zaire? No one's from there no more. That's interesting, yeah.
I remember I used to feel like, I understand Zaire. I used to speak Zaire, and people were like, that's not a language. But anyway, so I had this fight with her, and I'm ashamed to say, because obviously, but also I'm like in year 7, year 8, so how old are you when you're in year 7, year 8, but something interesting happened where we had this fight, and then like the teacher comes, they split it up, and they're like, all right, it's Easter break. So after the Easter, we're going to come back. We're going to sit down and you're going to hash it out. She never returns.
Mm-hmm.
So I come back to Easter and I'm thinking we're going to sit down and have this conversation about her racist abuse, me just having enough of it, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't happen. I get to school. Second day, 2 police officers turn up. The teachers come to me like, so Salome, can I, like, they take me out of like, I don't know, citizenship or one of those random lessons. And then she takes me out and she's like, oh, I don't want to alarm you, but there's 2 police officers here. I'm going to go to the head teacher's office and whatever. So I'm thinking,
what are they telling me for? Yeah.
What the fuck? So I go into the head teacher's office and they're like,
you killed her.
No, can you imagine? God forbid, like, they're like, okay, so we're going to take you to the police station, take this statement. She's basically bringing charges against you for...
In year 7?
Year 8.
Oh, Lord, yeah.
For assault and blah, blah, blah. So I'm there like...
You definitely cried. You cried.
No, this time I'm just like... Obviously, I'm thinking I'm getting beats because the timing was terrible because it just so happened that this happened at a week where my grandma was in town from Nigeria. Oh, my mom's older sibling was in, who we call like Oloria B, like the head of the household.
Big Mommy, yeah.
Big Mommy was in town, and another one of my mom's sisters were in town, all staying in our yard. Like, so I'm thinking, so what? So anyway, I go to the police station. Obviously, they have to call my mom. My mom's a contractor at the time. So she has to leave. Obviously, now it's unpaid. She's very pissed off, like half a day rate. Now I'm a contractor. I'm like, I can feel it a bit more, like a half a day rate gone. You're in a police station in freaking Ilford.
They took you to the police station?
They took me to the police station.
In year 8?
Yes.
Sure. Oh, that is so fucked.
There's some certain issues. Yeah, obviously there's some safeguarding issues there. But so then they're like, okay, well, you know, this is her statement, blah, 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 blah. They want to press charges for assault or whatever. So I'm just there like, how is this girl has been systematically like abusing me and calling me N-word, all this stuff for like months, putting literally everything, black bitch, all of this for months. And then one day I'm just like, I've had enough. I'm knocking her out. Like, I'm just done. Then you want to press charges. And this is where I knew, that like, the cultural capital of your parents or the cultural capital that you have can actually save your children. So my mum was there. She was quiet for the whole time. She didn't say a word. She listened to my statement. She listened to her statement. And when they were done, the police were there and she was just like, so my mum was just like, so I would like to press charges for racially aggravated assault. That was it. That's all she said. She was like, sounds like this girl has been racially abusing my daughter for months on end. The school didn't do anything. She brought the school into the claim, everything. And I was just looking at her like,
wow,
my hero. Obviously, like, the girl dropped the charges because you can't do that. Like,
wait, what did your mum, what's your mum's occupation? What was your dad's occupation at the time?
So my mum studied accounting and finance like you. Okay. Like, so actually both of them did finance, accounting degrees. My mum went on to like do work for local council as a contractor. My dad did similar, but then left and started his own business. So he was an entrepreneur.
And simultaneously, they had the school in Nigeria together, was it?
So the school in Nigeria was my mum's
project
parents.
Oh, okay.
So this is like 60 years running.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, legacy school.
Wow, is it still there now?
Still there, yeah.
Oh, that's a
At full
vibe.
capacity, yeah.
Wait, hold on. So who runs it now? Your mum still?
So my mum's sister was running it. She's retired. She ran it all her life. And then now there's like someone else running it. It's not a family member, but it's part of the family estate. So, yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. So your mum backs you now with this beef.
So my mum's like, okay, well, I'm going to press charges because it sounds like...
You've been racially...
So then obviously the police were like, okay, let me get back to you. So they go and make a phone call. They come back.
It's probably best we just leave this as a school issue.
Yeah, everything's dropped.
Wow.
But obviously at this point, I've been humiliated because you have taken me out of class. I didn't go back to school that day.
The police came as well.
The police came. 2 police people came as if I'm like...
Some criminal.
2 men came to escort me out of school. Like,
they didn't put you in handcuffs though.
They didn't put me in handcuffs. Then obviously, because my parents were there, like one of the teachers had to act as my...
escort you? Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, had to act as my
guardian
until then. My mum was like really embarrassed. And obviously I've gone home and like I said, my grandma, my auntie, like everyone that you do not want there for this event is there. And like, so long story short, a few months later, I found myself in Ibadan. Like,
oh wow, that's my parent. Well, I think my dad's
family from there.
Yeah, that's crazy. So wait, you reckon they did that on the vibe of to protect you because now you've had that? Obviously, your school has shown their hand that they can't handle situations properly.
Yeah.
So was it a case of you were bad, or your parents kind of did it on the vibe of let's protect her from this environment currently because this is not a healthy place for us to be in?
I think it's probably a combination because, like I said, my brothers were already there.
Oh, okay.
So I was at this point, I'm the only one in London. I was really living.
How long were you separated from me? I was really
like
living.
2 years. I was really living the single child, only child life. Open the fridge is full. You know, like no other siblings to compete with. Yeah. So I think they got to the point where like, actually, why do we have 2 there and 1 here? And like,
you reckon your brothers resented you?
Definitely. So obviously, when I got there, they were like, finally, oh yeah. Come on, line up. Wear the uniform, yeah. Obviously there's probably a bit of resentment there. So I got sent back. But I like have a very positive outlook on my time there. Because before then, I don't know about you, but I was scared of Nigeria.
Yeah, of course. Imagine, it was always the punishment.
Exactly. Yeah. Every time you do something, I will send you to Nigeria. So I was
like
just
it was hell or something.
This was hell on earth. And I got there and I'm like, wow, people are really enjoying themselves here. Like, there's vibes, and like, obviously I got to reconnect with my cousins, and we're still very close today. So,
was it a boarding school you went to?
It was a boarding school.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you
I had to fetch my water and everything.
Oh wow! Do you have to wash people's underwear and stuff?
No, not people's underwear. I washed my own underwear, but you had to wash. Yeah, like you were left to your own devices. Like,
and you did that, but you did your GCSEs in the UK.
I did 1 year.
Oh, you did 1 year in Nigeria.
Year 9.
You did year 9?
Yeah.
What was it, SS2?
SS1.
SS1. And then you came back and then...
Did my GCSEs.
For year 10 and year 11.
But the issue is I went to a different school because they were like, okay, you've left. I go to a different school.
Did you come back with an accent?
No. I was only there for a year.
Did your people in your new school claim you had an accent?
No.
Okay, cool. Did you put on a British accent?
I was there for 9 months. Like,
you know, you might pick up some twang. I don't know, innit?
I had the summer to just do the tweaks.
Okay, yeah, cool.
So yeah, I did my GCSEs and then
Now, obviously, I know you're high. It sounds like in terms of you're kind of like grades wise the daughter that everybody would want.
Yeah.
So I've got a cousin that's also like that as well, high flyer as well, great grades and everything. What was it? Her name's called Alice, isn't it? Oh, Alice is doing amazing. Everybody look at Alice's grades, isn't it? To the point where you're the poster child of grades and educational excellence. How worked was yours? Did you actually study hard, do you reckon?
So I think I kind of clocked, and I think Nigeria helped, that I knew I clocked exams.
Yeah.
Oh, so I've got like photographic memory. And I don't say this as like, I genuinely can remember the page, the number, the section.
What, like Mike Ross on Suits, man?
Yes. That's why, like, being a lawyer was very
Really?
easy. I can remember, like, where something is.
Like Mike Ross, you're saying?
Okay, Mike Ross takes it to extreme because he remembers the details, but I can remember what the page looks like.
Oh, wow.
So, like, at least where sometimes maybe the artisting comes in, because I might not remember the details, but I know that it might be on the left side, hand side of the page, second paragraph, third line.
There was a picture on the bottom right hand.
No pictures. Yeah. This is lines.
Oh, wow.
I just know the page. So I was able to, like, just cram. And, like, Nigeria teaches you how to cram. Like, you just know how to, like, short-term memory, you utilize that. After the exam, you can't ask me Pythagoras. I'll be looking at you like, who? Like, I don't know.
Oh, short-term memory.
Short-term memory.
Oh, so it's good with exams.
I can cram. The night before, I'll be sitting there, like, packing it in. I'll go into the exam, kill it, and then leave, and I have no clue.
Oh, wow.
What I wrote. Outside the exam, I'd be like, I have no... People are like, what question did you answer? I wouldn't even know. Like, it's like I'm in a trance. Like,
I used to hate you people. Oh, yeah. You'll be, for your life, in fact, was the answer C? And you're asking the smart girl. Oh, I don't know. She doesn't know anything at that point in time.
I believe that she doesn't know. Like, she's... Because I remember used to go into exams, and they're like, 4 hours or 3 hours, and you're thinking, that's a long time. And I would be in a trance. Like, I didn't... Like, I'll just start, and I'm done. And, like, time's up. And I'm like, okay.
And would you walk out early and stuff?
I never walked out early, even though I'd finished, because I was like,
I might as well use this time to utilize. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, like I was never cocky enough to be like, I'm done, other than one exam at uni.
Did you pass that?
They wouldn't let me. No, I mean, I passed, but it was my worst grade in the whole 3 years.
Why did you walk out early though?
I wanted to walk out, they wouldn't let me. They were like,
was it that bad?
You know, like, you need to stay for at least an hour. It's a 3-hour exam.
But obviously, if you're doing law, because obviously you went down the law path.
Yeah.
Surely at one point doing exams becomes way more essay based.
Yeah, but this was an outside module. This was an economics module.
Okay, yeah.
And I did economics A-level, so I thought I could do this. And the problem was that I tried to approach it like it was a law exam. And it wasn't. So law at my uni, you could be a bit strategic in what you study.
LSE.
Like, yeah.
Okay.
Well, research.
Yeah.
You can be a bit strategic and like, okay, I'm going to focus on these topics. I know that they're going to ask at least one question on these topics. Economics, you have to learn the whole syllabus. I was not ready for that. So I'm there approaching like, okay, 3 weeks before the exam, I'll cram, short-term memory. And I get there and I'm like, well, I have to cram a year's worth of... It didn't work.
Oh, wow.
I go to the exam, I was like, I can't.
So you left out of fuck this.
And also it was the last exam that I had of the term, right? So at that point...
So you did pass?
I passed.
Yeah, but you didn't excel.
Let me tell you why I'd say it was a fail. Because that course was notorious in the uni for people getting like 80s, 90s out of 100.
Oh, okay.
Like LSE, if you get 68, you've done a fantastic job. They give you 70, which is a first. It's like, they see it as, if they give you a 70, especially in law, you are at a publishable standard. Like, you can go and publish like you've done a PhD. That's how deep that is. So imagine if you have a module where people are getting 80s and 90s, like across the board. I got 45. Like,
wow,
we're not there.
Did you cry?
I didn't cry because I was just like, I also know that I didn't put the effort into the exam to get.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I thought I'd get a bit better than I did, but...
Well, did you always know? At what point did you realise that you were going to become a lawyer? Let me just double check. Am I still recording?
Oh, yeah, let me check
one.
This one. Still recording.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, cool. Yeah, when did you know you were going to become a lawyer?
I think I knew when I got my first job, like when I got my job offer. So
no, but I'm still talking about, you know how Nigerians, they're like, oh, this one's going to be a lawyer. Like,
yeah, I always said it when I was a child because I felt like...
Did you say it or did your parents say it?
A combination.
A combination, okay.
I think I said it and then I looked at the reaction of people like, and then I kept like I kept like repeating it because it was like, okay.
Wow, they must be, I just know what it means to my family. They must be so proud.
No one's told me though.
No one's told you. That's a lie.
Where is the evidence of the pride?
So, but maybe they just tell everybody, oh, all your aunties know. So they're, yeah.
I'll go somewhere and be like, A-star student, LSE. And they'll be bigging me up. And I'm like, nobody in my family has ever said, we're so proud of you. Like,
no way.
yeah, no. Like, my mum and dad, yeah,
Uh-huh.
but extended family, and we have a very close extended family.
Uh-huh.
Like, even happened as recent as, like, a month ago, we were at a family wedding, and we all travelled to Canada for this wedding. And we got there a bit late because our flight came in late. And I get there and everyone's like, oh, we've been hearing about your art, you're this, you're an editor, you're this, you're that. And I'm thinking, who's telling you all this stuff? Because nobody has told me like, well done for you getting that exhibition, or well done for, but yeah, everyone knows about this stuff. Like, so it was just
how
weird
does that
to
make
me.
you feel though?
I'm just like, I smile like, thank you, but obviously like, it would be
Would
nice.
you like to hear it?
Now I don't really care because I've done it. But 5 years ago when I felt like I was alone, like no one understood the vision of what I was trying to do, trying to be the creative lawyer, trying to have like a balanced legal career, art practice. Like, I wish someone had told me like, I see what you're doing. I feel like it can work. No one ever told me that it could work. Like it worked. Like you can do it. It was just like, what are you doing? Like, choose something. You're being flaky. You're being this. Like,
you know what's funny? Because even when I hear the creative lawyer, and I don't know how I managed to get myself into these situations, like I kind of know like the power of it.
Yeah.
Because for some reason, I'm in situations where I know a lot of people that are either studying law or doing law that for some reason, and I don't know why they tell me this all the time, but they open up to me about their burning desire and their passions to just not be stuck in law. And they also say, funny enough, because it's not as though like you went down the route of saying you're the lawyer / artist. You're saying creative lawyer, because creative is not literally just art per se.
Yeah.
And there's people that have come to me, they want to sing and do law and stuff. And 9 times out of 10, it was funny. That's how I even came across. Because obviously I know you, but I don't know you from... One, I didn't even know you from being a lawyer first and foremost, isn't it? So, and then I came across your page. And funny enough, it's been a reference point on 3 occasions now where I'm like, oh my God, you're in a situation. I know someone that's actually going through, that's basically been through what you're going through now, and then I send them your page. Like, look, she's doing art and she's a lawyer as well. And for some reason, each and every time, it kind of brings like happiness to them, isn't it? Which is such a beautiful thing.
Yeah, but it wasn't a common thing. Like when I say like 2016, when I left, I think I remember you reached out to me like, because I did a video, you were like, sick, like I'm going to send your, I've shared your thing with other people. Like when I left, I genuinely felt like there was no blueprint. Like, there was nobody else at the time that was doing the corporate thing and doing corporate thing and. Like, it was literally like all or nothing. And of course, throughout that whole journey, it's been 8 years now, like I was so unsure of myself. I didn't know whether I was doing the right thing. I was constantly being told that it was career suicide, like your legal career is over, like you've walked away from the best firm in the UK. Like, who does that?
Well, Linklaters.
Clifford Chance at the time.
Oh, Clifford Chance?
Yeah.
Are they not part of the Magic Circle now?
They are Magic Circle, yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Well, we'll name the 5 Magic Circle.
So, Clifford Chance, Linklaters, Alan Overy, Freshfields, and Slaughter and May.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And basically, do you know, and
this is just based on revenue. But obviously, there's other players in the market.
Yeah, but those are the ones I hear of any time. So when they say
other
Magic
players in the market, there are US firms in the market that are killing it. There are Silver Circle, which are basically non-Magic Circle, but also killing it. Yeah. Like, it's just...
I read a statistic, saying that in terms of with people that are doing well, something like there's like a 2% chance of even getting into Magic.
Getting in.
Yeah, getting into a Magic Circle, law firms, isn't it? So it's like, even achieving what you've done is a great deal. Like, do you feel a sense of that?
So imagine walking away from it.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
And then people are looking at you like, do you understand what you've walked away for? Like, of course I freaking understand what I walked away. I was there for 4 years. Like, I was there in the trenches. Like, it was not an easy decision. Because also, you're walking away from the prestige of Magic Circle. You're walking away from the salary of Magic Circle. Like, all those things.
Were their training contracts still like lucrative?
At the time, they were paying like, fresh out of uni, they're paying you like 50k, 40k.
Yeah, which is a fucking unheard of, isn't it? Yeah.
Fresh out of uni, you have what are you paying?
Never had bread before in your life.
Listen, training, we were balling. And obviously, there was a different time. It wasn't cost of living at the time. You know, like, so... And then when you qualify, it was going, you know, you qualified.
What made you have to leave, though?
What made me... Because I tried for like 6 months to carve a bit of a unique role for myself. Like, I always knew that I was going to have a portfolio career. And by that, I mean, like, it was a career that I kind of defined and cultivated and worked out for myself, right? I always knew that it wasn't going to be a plain trajectory of, like, associate, senior associate partner. Like, I knew that wasn't going to be the path. But, like, I had tried to, like, to tell my supervisor that, okay, these are the things that the other people that I'm working with are telling me that I'm excelling in. So, and this is what I enjoy. So one of the things that I was always really good at was business development. People, like, partners from every area of the firm would take me to client pitches. Like, Salome, come and... So I'm meeting big boys.
Schmooze with people, yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Give me the champagne. I will schmooze. I'd give them. But I love that because I also, like, I'm a people person. Like, I get activated from having conversations. So put me in a room, I'll sell it, right? And also my background was in retail. So I'm like, I can sell, like,
By background, you mean you worked there? Or was that your actual law background in retail?
No, as in, like, I worked in retail from the moment I was 15 up until...
Oh, where'd you work? John Lewis?
Oh, where did I work? Where didn't I work? I worked in Selfridges, I worked in Hamley's Toy Store, I worked in Karen Millen, I worked in Swarovski.
Why do you keep on leaving?
Commitment.
Really? That's hilarious.
I just moved on to the next, I moved on to the next thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had a lot of retail jobs. Some I didn't even put on the CV because it was like a 2 weeks.
Wait, so obviously now leaving Clifford Chance you was at the time and deciding because at one point I'm not sure if is this now or is it before you're doing 4 days a week law and then 1 day a week.
Before I was doing 4 or 5 days like you're here. I was doing 5 days from 9 a.m. to like until we tell you to go. 2 a.m., 3 a.m. I was working like around the clock, basically. And
so then you decided, was it a case of, when you decided to become this creative lawyer, was it a case of, because obviously I'm hearing that you basically went to your garage and got some, what was it? You found your old art bag and then decided to start doing...
like painting and stuff,
It was... What happens from that point to you deciding to...
So when I left, I just knew that I was creative. I didn't know...
Why?
Because I'd always done creative stuff. Like I was doing photography, even like at uni. So even at uni, I did not want to be a lawyer. Like I didn't apply to any law jobs. Like I didn't apply to any training contracts. Like I was just like, I'm going to do this law degree and I'm going to do whatever I want. At the time, I was like a stylist assistant. I was a photographer's assistant. I was in the creative field. I was working in a bar.
But you're just excelling at
I'm
law
in fashion retail,
time.
but I'm just studying law at LSE.
And you're doing very well at it.
Maybe sometimes, maybe. I don't know. I didn't feel like I was. I was just like, I need to tick this box. And then I leave and I get headhunted for Clifford Chance. And that's how I got that job. Like I made one application.
Headhunted. So wait, who saw you and who decided this is the one we want for Clifford? Because a lot of people, I've heard stories about people wanting to be there so bad and the things they want to do. Now, all of a sudden, God just drops this on your lap.
So funny enough, I had applied to the agency who work with lawyers. Excellent. You had to have excellent grades to get on their platform. They're called Rare Recruitment. So Black, Asian lawyers who, and they kind of just give you the opportunity. So they let you know, like, okay, this application is coming up. What, we can help you with that kind of thing. I applied in my first year of uni. And I was rejected because there was one particular grade, which is contract law, that they needed you to have like a 2-1 in.
Taught.
Yeah. You know a lot about this stuff. How do you know?
I'm just well-rounded with life, really and truly, innit?
So taught and contract, I did not have a high enough grade, right? So I didn't get onto the platform. But yet, obviously, they still kept my name on the books. So they said they can't take you on, first year of uni. They can't take you on. You haven't met the criteria, but all the best. 2 years later or 3 years later, they call me like, oh, actually, we're just reaching out because Clifford Chance are doing a very rare last minute hire. And it was one of those freak things where maybe they had like each year they hire 50 lawyers. They change the program or the timeline, and they had to fill up like 4 spots. It was like unprecedented. This is not a normal recruitment process at all. They were like, last minute, we need 4 lawyers to fill in. Would you want to apply? And I nearly didn't apply.
Fucking hell.
I nearly didn't apply because I was just like, I just finished uni. Like, I'm tired. I don't want to do it. Literally, I was like, Googling who are Clifford Chance. Like, I didn't even...
No way.
And I was studying law. I'm not joking.
How can I know? I didn't fucking study law. I knew Clifford
3
Chance.
years in the game, I did not know.
So you had no ambition to do Magic Circle?
I didn't know what Magic Circle was.
No way.
And people thought I was lying. Like, how can you be studying law at LSE, don't know Magic Circle? And I was just like, I went to my lectures and I went to party. That was it. Like, what are you talking about? So I'm doing research and I'm like, this firm is all right, like, oh, they got some stuff going on. Okay, let me do an application. So I did it. And also the thing is, they were like, you need to do the application by tomorrow. So it's like a Thursday. They're like, the application needs to be in by Friday. And I'm like, I didn't do it. I didn't want to do it. I was dating some guy at the time who was like, what else are you doing? Like, so he talked some sense into me. That's the only positive thing that came out of our whole out of our whole dating was that I can kind of credit him for the reason why
you did the application.
I am a lawyer basically. So I do the application and then they're like, they want to see you. Like, same day they want to see you, and I'm like,
no way.
Why? Okay, fine. So Monday comes, I go to the interview, I sit down, I do this interview. And at the time, I don't know, but I was interviewed by the most senior partner at the time. He was like the OG partner. I didn't know.
What the fuck? What's going on here?
So I'm interviewed by the most senior partner.
Is this like a diversity checklist? They needed a black woman by any means or something?
No, they interviewed lots of people. But I'm interviewed by the most senior partner. Like, a lot of people didn't make this cut, right? And it's very conversational. There are no technical questions. So I leave and I remember calling my dad and I'm crying a little bit because I'm like, I don't think I got it because...
He's not asking about the job.
He's asking me about my retail experience. We're talking about all sorts of random stuff. Nothing about the job.
Love those interviews.
Okay, now I know better. Like, now that I've interviewed, I know that, okay, you kind of got it. Right,
Yeah.
And my dad was like, oh, never. Then he calls me personally to say, I'm actually leaving. Like, I am retiring. I've left the firm. This was you were the last interview I did. And if you do not accept this place at the firm, I'm going to be very upset.
That's so beautiful, man.
You were a breath of fresh air. Please. Like, he's convincing me. Please take this. I'm like, literally was like, I'm going to take it. I think.
Wait, so how many days are we talking from when you did the application to receiving that call? Fucking hell, mate.
A week.
These times, I'm still receiving rejection letters now.
So obviously, I still had to do all of the numerical tests, the verbal reasoning.
Yeah.
I did all the tests. I passed that. So obviously, this was before the interview. I passed all of that. And in the interview, I had to do a group interview. I had to do an individual interview. So, like, it's not as if like they cut the interview down. It was just an accelerated timeline. I still did every step.
Was that the last step though, in terms of meeting the most senior partner? Yeah. Fucking hell,
and I remember
man.
thinking, like, he didn't ask me any questions. And I remember saying to him, like, it ended up being like a philosophical question because I was talking about like my perspective on work, on creativity, on like based on the things that I've read and like the conversations that I've had with my family and like especially my dad. And he was so intrigued. So we just ended up talking about like life. And I left it and I was just like, yeah, I didn't get this job.
Yeah, well, that's a vibe, man.
He didn't ask me no law questions. I was ready with my competency questions. Give me one example of time you've worked in a team. Didn't ask me any of that stuff.
Can't stand that shit, man. I hate it. That's why I don't even like applying for roles whatsoever. All that stuff, when I see it, my whole spirit goes down.
Me too.
Even, what they say, which one is the one where they give you scenarios on the scale of 1 to 10, which, very likely... Some of those
situational,
ones,
whatever
that is. I can't stand it because I know mentally I'm not a fit for the role already.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh man.
But it's a game though, like.
It's a game, but certain times there's certain things that they want me to answer that I don't even feel comfortable. Basically, I know which one they want me to say, but I don't actually feel comfortable even putting that down.
Well, like, why?
Like, when they say, "Oh, you see a member of staff, isn't it? He seems to be mismanaging the books, isn't it?" Now they want you to say, oh, basically
I'm a
report him.
snitch.
Report him to blah, blah, blah. And my vibe is, no. As in, I'm going to mind my own business. As long as I'm not directly involved in it, I don't know what
What's
it's actually
my
doing.
own, yeah. I'm not going to investigate.
Yeah, and if I put that down over there, what happens?
Yeah.
I'm not going to get the fucking
job. It's a game, though. And this is why I feel like the interesting thing about it is that once I did the application and I clocked that it was an exam, everything changed for me. What's an exam? So you can prep for this, you can cram for this, and you can, do you know what I mean? Like, it's an exam. So all those things, those situations, they're not real life. Like, in a real world situation, if you were in that, you would mind your business and face front, because unless it's like you're doing something that is so blatantly...
And it can affect me directly, yeah.
It's so blatantly obvious that, like, okay, that's wild.
But
I just saw you swipe 20 quid.
Though?
Yeah.
Those exams, yeah, I believe they can dictate when you're lying, because what they can do is they can literally ask you the same question 4 times, yeah? And in theory, if you answer A to question 2, the answer should be A to question 6, because they are the exact same question, as in terms of like behavior pattern wise. Is it still on? Yeah, behavior pattern wise, it's exactly like that's what they do, because I've seen somebody actually make one of these exams, and
really?
and it shows you that basically that one should actually be the answer of that one and that one.
It should correlate throughout the whole
thing. If
thing.
it doesn't correlate, then that means this person's not being honest, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh fuck, man. But anyway, I realized you currently, after you obviously you went off to do your art thing. Now, wait, can I ask you a question? In fact, this is a question.
Yeah.
I don't really mind. You can, this, like I said, you get this back, so you don't even have to put this out there. Have you broken even in art?
Nah.
Oh, wow.
Nah.
Well, but what are you judging this by? Because you're a lawyer, so are you doing it by time? As in...
No, I'm doing it by like actual materials, time and resource.
Oh, okay, cool.
So like, if I start afresh from... So I start my legal practice. If I define my legal practice my artistic practice from 2020 was when I got a studio. Okay. That's when I actually started to incur real costs, as in like I'm paying rent somewhere. I started to break even in 2022.
Okay.
I'm in profit now, but again, it's very cyclical. So my 2 selling periods tend to be between October and December as a big selling period, and then I have a little, not as much, a little flurry in like sometimes in March, and then June, July.
What do you reckon that's based on?
So that's based on, well, the December one, Black Friday, all of that, that's based on people wanting to buy art for gifts. So that one is just pure retail. The numbers make sense. Like everyone's more likely to part with their cash between October and December because they're buying gifts, or they're buying gifts for themselves, or they're just feeling flush, right? Fine, end of year bonus, whatever. March, the statistics have shown that I have exhibition. There seems to be like a lot of exhibitions in that time, whether it's like International Women's Month, Kennington.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking hell, man. Nah, that's how much is fucking rent then, isn't it? That's a lot, yeah.
Don't increase my rent. Okay.
but in terms of it's a shared creative space, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like pure creatives. You have to be like an artist, designer, maker to be there. Oh
wow.
And I love it because
well, they check out your Instagram before they hire you.
No, but like, it doesn't even get advertised. Like, it's just word of mouth. That's how it. Yeah. So twice a year we open our studios to the public. And this is where I feel like those are my 2 biggest selling periods. One of them is Christmas and one of them is June. So I end up selling at that time because I find that people prefer to come into your space, see your work, see your studio, buy into your story, and then they buy. And trying to sell art on a 2D image online is very difficult.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So.
Oh wow!
So I started to break even now, or actually make profit. But
and when did you start? Because obviously I know right now you're with what was it, Relink?
Yeah.
Which is essentially
Relink is just one of the platforms that I'm with.
And so that's essentially the contract side of Linklaters.
Yeah.
And what are the other ones you're with? So what? So you just offer your services out to these people?
I'm a free agent.
Okay.
I'm on all of the platforms. I don't discriminate.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait, so every single contract available for any one of these firms, you're there for them to...
If it's the right skill set,
Uh-huh.
right practice area, yes.
And what sort of law are you actually in directly?
So I do like finance and derivatives.
Oh, okay, cool.
Capital markets.
Okay, sweet. And what sort of stuff do you do for them exactly?
So you can imagine like an investment bank.
Uh-huh.
I imagine I am the internal lawyer for the investment bank.
Okay, so for instance, if it was...
So most of my clients have been investment banks. Let's say Barclays.
So wait, does that mean essentially what you have to follow like all like FCA law and stuff like that?
FCA don't really set law. It's more regulation, more advisory regulation, but they're a big part of how we advise our client, which is the bank, on how they do their business.
Okay, so they're so wait, what's the difference between law and regulation exactly then?
That's a good question. In reality, there isn't really much difference. It's just maybe how the law comes into being. So like typically, like if you think of like law, like is backed by statute, i.e. Parliament say that this is what needs to happen, and then it filters down. But when it comes to especially financial services, Parliament have accepted that they don't have the knowledge and the expertise to know what the heck is going on.
Yeah.
So they essentially delegate that power to the FCA and the PRA, which is the
prudential,
regulatory authority, to say you guys are closer to the industry. You actually know these complex investment bank solutions, so you're a better place to actually give guidance on how to regulate. How the banks can regulate themselves, right? So regulation is more, I think the emphasis on it is on the internal institution regulating themselves. So like we're going to help you set your policies so that you know how to behave. Whereas like, if you think of the broader legal structure or law, it's like, okay, this is, when you don't do that, that's when the law kicks in, because we're going to then...
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you're internals, you're essentially going into the organization, making sure that legally everything is all right in here. So
that they can do.
So externally, that they don't get in trouble.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's a bad then.
So it's like, especially like in my practice area, I do a lot of derivatives.
You really have to know what you're doing though in order to fucking do that. So that's...
Yeah, but you're not the only one. Like there's huge teams.
Yeah, I realised that.
They're quite sophisticated.
Systems that can survive without you actually being there.
They're not that important.
But you know what? That's what's kind of taken me a long time to kind of digest. Sometimes I get mad imposter syndrome because maybe it's because the sense of importance I think I've got in myself, that I go to organizations and think, oh my God, like there's no hiding place. I am so important. I am such an important cog in this whole system that if I am not there, the whole thing is going to fucking crumble down. I'm going to let everybody down. And that's why I'm afraid of even doing certain jobs.
It cripples you into action.
Yeah.
Okay, imposter syndrome. I think it's you need to take it as your superpower. Keeps you humble, keeps you reflective, but recognize that everyone, like you said, everyone is winging it, like from the top to the bottom. In fact, the higher you get up, the more imposter syndrome kicks in. Because then you're thinking, okay, you're almost crippled by the weight of responsibility. Like, okay, I've got a team under me. Like, I need to make money. I need to bring clients in. Otherwise, these people aren't going to eat. Like, that's when it really kicks in. And that's when you have to recognize that we're all making this stuff up as we go along, and it's a game, right? So getting comfortable with just being like you said, I'm very happy to be the person in the room that says, I don't know, like, let me look into that. Or that doesn't make sense. I ask the stupid questions, and I would say, I was going to say nine times out of 10, but actually it's 10 times out of 10 when I ask a stupid question. Other people in the room are like,
facts,
yeah, because we didn't know either. You know, especially like when you're in a industry.
Yeah, but you can do that because you're smart. Like, you know you're smart
too.
You're. I'm saying,
why do you think you're not smart?
No, I'm smart, but certain times I know I've got concentration issues, isn't it? So I'm like, maybe they've said this already and I weren't paying attention.
No, but even then, Because what I've noticed is that the people that are in power, they have no problem saying, I may have missed this, but what does that mean? And also, like, if someone's presenting to you about this is what we're doing, put them on notice, like, to make it plain, like, make it
simple.
Simple.
Yeah.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
Like, if they can't do that, then it's not clear enough. Like, ultimately, the buy-in, when you're trying to get buy-in from any industry, it's often from people who do not know what the heck you're talking about. As a lawyer, most of the time, our client is not like they're not lawyers. So we have to convince them of like, this is why this is important for your business. And we have to translate it in a way that
makes sense to a normal person.
Them.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you're in especially because I do a lot of like board meetings, committee meetings, I love asking the most obvious questions and everyone's like hailing me like, wow, that was so profound. I'm like, I literally asked you, what's that acronym mean? Because everyone's using it. You're using it like you assume everyone knows that this is like, and most of the time, no one knows.
That's good though that you do that because I'll be petrified. They're like, oh yeah, so obviously the CRC over here is gonna be. I'll be like, what the fuck is CRC?
The CRC and the PRP and the PRA, and you're just like. So let me get this straight. When you mean PRA, do you mean XYZ? And when you mean CRC, do you mean this? Okay, fine. Can you explain? Like, when in doubt, ask a question. I think. If you don't know,
there are such things as stupid questions, isn't there? You must have seen one before. Where in your field, you're like, come on, you should know what that is.
I don't think
like if you're working in media and someone says the BBC.
What does BBC stand for? Big booty.
Yeah, you'll be like, oh, what the fuck?
Come on, like, okay. Yeah, know your client, like, yeah, that's a company. But I would say 9 times out of 10, there is no stupid question. Or if the question is stupid, how you phrase it can determine whether it's seen as stupid or not. So, like, if you're asking for a point of clarification, just to confirm, BBC is like the British Broadcasting Corporation, right? Not big booty, you know. Like, yeah. And then the follow-up question is, okay, based on what you've said, do you mean that X, Y, Z? It's not a stupid question.
Yeah.
But if you're saying, is BBC mean BBC? Like, everyone's going to laugh at you.
Yeah.
So it's like, how are you packaging your question? How are you packaging your, like, confusion? And actually, you can use your confusion to your advantage. And I do that a lot.
Is it? What do you do?
Like I said, it's just like, okay, like...
Oh, just use it to ask questions.
Use it to poke holes in someone's argument. Because often people, especially when you're very into something, that's your subject area, that's your expertise, you assume everyone knows what the heck you're talking about. And then sometimes you can just poke holes. And actually, it makes them a bit uncomfortable.
Yeah,
because often...
It would.
When you have to explain, like, you know, they say, if you want to feel like you really know a subject, try and explain it to a toddler. If you can't explain to a toddler what you're doing, you don't actually know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I try to, like, sometimes be the toddler in the boardroom. That's like, explain that to me.
What is that?
Yeah. Why? Why?
That question will fuck anybody up. Why? Like, I ask people that all the time. Like, sorry, okay, but why are we doing this? Isn't it? Yeah.
And also, I've seen it like play out. Like the people who are in the board meetings or in the rooms where the big deals are done, the important stuff are done, they often ask the most basic questions like, so why is this important? Why is this part of your agenda? And everyone's like scrambling, like, oh, it's a profound question. Like, and then you're there thinking, okay, I'm in the detail, but they're higher level. They're just saying, like, does this make sense? Like, where's the buy-in for this? So I've learned to, like, play the game and understand, like, the more higher level you are in your questioning, in your thinking, the better it is. There's a time and place for the detail, but for the most part, just poke holes in everyone else's... You
see all of these skills that you've got, like, because funny enough, obviously, I read your article in that magazine.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. In fact, was it your magazine? I'm not sure. No,
I'm now the editor of that magazine, but I wasn't the editor of the magazine at the time. Let me just clarify
that's
that.
Beautiful. That's a vibe.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I think you said something along the lines of basically what you kind of wanted from your art was to basically do more exhibitions, isn't it? I think you want to get some work commissioned and stuff like that. Do you feel as though your need for all of that stems from the fact that you were a lawyer in the first place? Because, like, obviously, coming from university, obviously doing A-levels, getting good grades, going to LSE, getting into LSE, doing good words, getting a contract from Clifford Chance, as in, like, it seems as though there was a very straightforward career path in order to do law. So you feel as though now that you're in your art world, you're kind of seeking that, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I have no way of like validating or checking whether I'm on, like I'm progressing.
Mm-hmm.
Like law is a very clear
target-driven
ladder.
Structured, yeah.
So even within a firm, you join as a trainee. 2 years, you qualify. When you qualify, then you rank up. 6 years, you're senior associate. From senior associate, 10 years, they start looking at you like, do you want to make partner or not? Like, it's very rigid and clear structure. The art world, I have no idea.
Yeah, so, because I think you kind of get asked a lot of questions in regards to how do you reckon your law work, like, helps or directs your art. Yeah. And that could kind of be probably one of the ways it really does, isn't it? As in, because you're so structured in law, obviously, I'm not sure how to look at your artwork and then see the lawyer in you based on that.
So, like, I feel like one of the things that is going to be like my life's work is trying to understand how they interact. I mean, on the surface level is you can't send me a contract and try and mug me off. As in, I'll be looking at you like, these terms? Absolutely not. So, obviously...
Has that happened before?
No, but like sometimes I've done like... So I have a lot of exhibitions with law firms, actually. That's like my niche now, somehow.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Like even PwC, like not a law firm, but professional services, right? So being able to say like, okay, actually, here's my form of agreement. You let me know your thoughts. I love that shit. I love sending a big firm, like, you know, negotiating with a big Magic Circle firm on the consignment, and they come back with only one comment. I'm like, yes, that means like my drafting was up to scratch, you know? So it means that I've like, I understand you, you understand me. So that's the link on one hand. Like I somehow, law firms...
You speak their language, I guess, isn't it?
Booking me in for exhibitions.
Do you let them know that you were once one of them?
That's part of the brand. Like they book me in for exhibitions, they book me in for talks to talk about how I'm balancing it.
Oh, that's beautiful. That works so well.
I sell it like as in, this is why you need me to come and talk to your staff, because everyone is feeling like they need to be doing something else.
Facts.
But here's how I can help them stay. That's like how I convinced them. Like,
well, how did you manage? Well, you see, when you became the creative lawyer, where you always remained a lawyer. You never took a break from being a lawyer.
I took a year off, right? I took a break, and that's how I started painting. Then when I went back into law, I decided
how did that feel going back in?
I was torture. I was depressed.
Oh, wow.
I literally was like, I went back in purely financial.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I was looking at my bank account and I was like, I have no money. Like, I'm really sad. And money will just help alleviate some of these issues right now. Thankfully, at the time, I wasn't married, I didn't have kids. So it really was purely, and I was living at home, it was purely just like, I want to go on holiday kind of thing. And it occurred to me like, okay.
But it didn't take you long to get married and have kids, isn't it? After that period, no?
What do you mean? Yeah, like, wait.
Well, that was like
2017.
Oh, 2017.
Yeah, I got married.
Oh, wow, it's been that long.
I got married 2 years ago, so yeah.
But you had kids 4 years ago, isn't it?
Yeah, 2020.
Oh, right. But still, that's relatively, it's a short period of time.
Life can happen very quickly.
Yeah, facts, yeah.
At the time, I was just like, I'm just me. And I was looking at it like, okay, I'm broke right now. And I really like to talk about being broke because I feel like everyone needs to...
Talk about, how broke were you? How broke are we talking?
I mean, credit card maxed out like on an Amex. So, you know, the interest rate is ridiculous. The only saving grace was that I was living at home. Even then I had paid rent in advance to my parents. Like, I was living at home. So I didn't I wasn't going to be homeless.
That big, yeah, you wasn't.
Literally had...
Women are never usually homeless, though.
I had no... What do you mean women are never
Women are never usually homeless, isn't it? Funny enough, there's always someone that will take them in. Plus, have you ever seen an attractive woman on the street before? Even a stranger would pick her up and then put her inside their house. Women don't have to fear being homeless.
I mean...
There's always somebody that will take you in.
I'm sure there's someone that will be in the comments and be like, actually... But I see what you're saying. But in terms of how broke I was, I had no money. Like zero.
Wow. And self-inflicted because...
Zero and in debt. And self-inflicted because...
And you were still buying canvases.
Self-inflicted because I had saved to take off to pay myself a salary for 6 months. And that was the plan, be off for 6 months. I was off for a year. So I was already like, at the time, I was like...
What was your plan, though? What was your plan? That I'm going to paint for a year and then all of a sudden...
I didn't know that I was going to paint.
Oh, shit!
So I left and I was like, I don't know what the plan is. I just know I need to get out of there. So let me save up. You know, now they call it like a fuck you fund, an emergency fund or whatever, right?
A fuck you fund.
Yeah, that's what they call it. 6 months. You need to have 6 months salary. So I saw that and I was like, here's 6 months salary.
What, 6 months Clifford Chance salary?
Yeah. 6 months of whatever is your salary, like whatever you're used to living on right now, that's the 6 months you need to pay for, right? So I paid off all my expenses. I made sure like, okay, mum, I'm not going to live here and just be rent-free. So I sent the money in advance. Yeah, I'll take this money. Don't call me for a year. Like, leave me be, yeah? And it got to the end of the year, I got really depressed because I was like, okay, I'm broke. I don't know what I expected from this year, but somehow I have not achieved it. I don't know why I thought I was going to find my amazing tech business and be like a founder and selling my company for billions. Obviously didn't happen. Not that I even wanted to do that, but like, so the issue is I didn't have a clear idea of what I wanted to achieve from the year. That was the first and foremost. So obviously when you're looking back, it's hard to evaluate the success of the year if you don't have clear goals. So number one is have clear goals. Have a clear goal for what you're trying to achieve. Even if it means like...
just the rest.
Let me just survive this year. Because obviously I wanted to do 6 months. And actually, if you want to...
travel during that period?
I travelled. I was all around Asia, Africa.
I even remember I was following you at that point in time. I was
living, So, again, if I had that as my goal, then at the end of the year, I could look back and be like, okay,
I did what I
you wanted to do 6 months, you did a year. That's double, right? So at the end of the year, I'm looking and I'm like, actually, what really was the defining moment is that I managed to have a free consultation with a coach. And I call her and, you know, we had this coaching session and she's like, and this is what actually got me.
What's she a coach?
She was like a life coach, part of an organization that they coach people. This is what got me into coaching actually. Right? Because that one 45-minute conversation changed my whole trajectory. Because as she
what did she say?
As she was speaking to me, she was just like, it seems like you get a lot of comfort and like self-validation from being able to take care of yourself financially. And I was like, you're right. Then she was like, okay, that's the first thing. She was like, so maybe finding a job that pays you might relieve some of the anxiety that you have because then you're able to go on holidays, buy the nice things you want, do all those things. I felt like I was a sellout. Like I left. I can't go back into the law now because everyone's. I did a whole YouTube video telling everybody I'm intentionally unemployed, and now everyone's gonna be looking at me like, "So you're back now, right?" But she made me see like, F what they think. Like, what do you want to do? Like, actually, right now, a lot of your issues or your problems are because you can't live the lifestyle that you want because you don't have the money. Oh, wow. But you're also a very qualified person. So why are you going to deny the lawyer side of you that is going to give you the bank at the expense of...
Wow, this person's sport. Who is this person?
Listen.
Hey, what's the company called? I might have to, 45 minutes, she said.
Well, if literally that one session, I'm supposed to have like 6, one a month. I had that one session. She was like, well, maybe look into going back into law or getting some sort of job and then we'll touch base. In that 1 month, obviously I went back into contracting, got a job at Barclays within a week of that conversation. And they were like, we'll do 4 days a week. Like, so when she called me a month later, she was like, what do you mean? Like, I didn't expect you to actually have achieved, or like, even she was like, you've done it all. So after that, our coaching sessions weren't as useful because it was like,
you've really done it.
You done it. Well done.
You actually, cracked me in 45 minutes,
cracked me in 45. And that's why I knew, like, there's
What's it called? Not counselling.
Coaching.
So
coaching is a bit different in the sense that, like, it is asking the right questions to the participants to get them to... You already have the answer. Like, let's say I'm coaching you. You already know what...
you're a coach now?
Yeah, I'm a coach.
Oh, that's a vibe. Okay.
So I coach lawyers and professionals in how they can either career pivot or make more time for creativity in their lives. That's my thing. So let's say I'm coaching you. Okay. You already know the answer of what you want to do in your life.
Okay.
The issue you have is there are certain roadblocks, whether that's societal, family, in your head, financial. Sometimes it's just like talking you through it, and helping you come out with your own, I guess, blueprint or pathway. And that's all coaching is.
As in, obviously, sometimes you listen to somebody and you know exactly what their problem is, but you want them to say it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And sometimes like and also because I'm trying not to project. So like people come to me because they know that I've done it. So they're coming to me for the fact, okay, you've had that experience before. You know, you're a lawyer. You've been in a magic circle. You know the demands I'm in. You know like what it means to be in the position I'm in. But I want to leave, or I'm not happy. Like, how do I pivot? And so I want to tell them like, this is what I did. But also, I don't want anyone to go through what I did, because I went through what felt like the ghetto, right? Like, I don't want anyone to be broke, especially when you've gone from magic circle money to being broke, like, and in debt.
How broke? Like, Indomie.
Like, okay, as in no money, 7, 8K Amex debt that is taking £300 a month, like, and that's interest only, like.
Yuck.
Yes.
Yuck.
So just being like, okay, my first few paychecks, I actually had to like pay everything down, like start again. Like I was at 0. So you know how humbling that is? Like to go from high flying lawyer to like
paying debt in debt.
Like 0. Like I'm there bringing my sandwiches to lunch. Everyone's like, should we go for lunch? I'm like, no, I've got my tuna mayo. Like, but I also learned like, if you want to save, like, forget about those lunches. What those lunches and coffees are killing you. I'm telling you, those lunches and coffees are killing you. Like, bring your own lunch. That's how you save money. Like, that's how you achieve your goals. But anyway, I digress. So yeah, I want to tell them like, okay, this is what I did, but they're not me and I'm not them. So I have to get them to see like, only you have the solution to yourself. I can, like, to your problem, I can give you guidelines. I can give you a framework to think about it. I can ask you the right questions so that you reveal the answer for yourself. I can't tell you what to do.
And you see, obviously, you say you're not the editor of this. What was it?
City Solicitor magazine. Editor of 2 magazines, but one is art, one is law.
And one is art, one is fucking hell. Look, why are you so brilliant like this?
I'm just effusing.
Well, did you ask? Was this intentional, or for you to get in these positions? Because obviously, another passion of yours is clearly writing as well. Then, isn't it? Because you also do what was it?
My newsletter.
Yeah. So
my initial response was to say no, it wasn't intentional. But as someone who's been writing since they can remember, like as in personal writing journal.
Oh, you journal?
Yeah. I've got a record. This is why I know that. This is why I started my newsletter, because I realized that I have a blueprint for myself of how I achieved creativity, because I literally documented every single stage of my journey up until now.
Was it journaling on piece of paper or electronically?
Literally, journal. Like I have 20 like year by year journals.
Wow.
2 journals a year.
Well, does your husband read your journal sometimes?
I hope not.
Okay, that's crazy, isn't it?
I hope not.
They're just there, so I mean, like.
But also, my husband.
Want to read somebody's mind?
My husband and I we've known each other since we were 15, so I'm like, I would think that he doesn't really need to read them. He can just ask me, and he was part of that.
Yeah, but it's cute though. It's cute just to read it.
But sometimes I read back and I'm like, okay. The interesting thing about reading back is that you realize that, yes, there's an element of like being blessed. There's an element of luck. I created all of that shit because I set an intention. I didn't think it would play out the way it did, but it did. 3 years later, 5 years later. Like, the editor of the magazine thing, right? That's wild to me because I remember my GCSE IT, my coursework was I created a magazine, right? I created a magazine. I wrote all the content. I did all the pictures and whatever. I was the only one to do this. I got an A-star for it. And I was like, I love magazines.
Oh,
like,
wow.
I actually wrote it. Like, I love magazines. And this is why I've chosen to do a magazine. And it was on fashion. And that was the thing. This was like 15.
Is this now, obviously, because
like,
obviously
now
I think
it's
digital.
Full circle. Like,
but you see now how it's digital.
Yeah.
Is there a way that they can print hard copies for you?
For which one?
For your any of your
So
magazines.
this magazine that I'm editor of, it's hard copy as well.
Oh, that's beautiful. Are you keeping copies of every single one?
It goes to, you know, the majority of the firms that operate in the City of London, Magic Circle,
You're a
Silver
celebrity.
Circle.
Essentially. This is beautiful.
Nobody knows me.
How perfect is this?
Nobody knows me.
No, but I'm saying you're a creative lawyer that's into art and that's into, what was it, obviously law, and now you're editing of an art magazine and a law magazine.
Yeah.
That's like, you couldn't write anything better than this.
Perfect balance, right?
Yeah. As in, that's fucking amazing. You're like the golden child, essentially.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, well, how accomplished do you feel about that?
It's just the beginning.
Oh, okay. See, you're just. I can see you're just a greatness child, which is a vibe.
Like I said to you earlier, I always knew I was gonna have a portfolio career, meaning it didn't exist. Like I remember writing in my journal in 2012 that my ideal career does not exist. I am going to create it. This is in ink.
I'm looking at you from the perspective of a parent. I'm thinking, this is amazing. This is actually just what you want your child to kind of like be like. You can answer it. I don't really mind, to be honest. Isn't it?
Let me answer it. I'm sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen, this part of the conversation is too spicy to come out.
Now, obviously, I read when I was reading one of your articles, it said something along the lines of when your father passed, you believe what that did to you mentally was basically for your artwork, it made you use the color blue a lot. Now, in terms of what feelings do you get? Because obviously what feelings do you get when you accomplish all of these things? As in, does it make you feel like, oh man, he would have been so proud of me doing all these things now?
Yeah, because there's a lot of conversations that I had. Like my dad he was a maverick. Like he was just so creative genius, marketer. Like my friends would come, like, and a lot of times I didn't know this until after he passed. That my friends would tell me, like, do you know what? Your dad is the reason why I got into uni, because he read my personal statement and he gave me comments, and like I didn't know all this stuff. Like my dad was just that guy, like good advice. So sometimes it's hard for me to like achieve things, and I'm like, wow, you're not here for me to share this with you, or we had spoken about this in a very, like, for instance, coaching. Like he bought me a book on coaching, like 2012, 2013.
Okay.
He wrote in the front, like, here's to a successful coaching career, blah, blah, blah. I received this book and I looked at it and I was like, I ain't coach. Like, what's this? And I put it on my shelf.
He said that he wrote
here's to a successful coaching career. Just be yourself. That was his thing. Just be yourself. That was his phrase always to me at any moment. And I put it on the shelf because I was just like, nah. And obviously now I'm coaching and I'm reading this book and I'm like tears are coming out my eyes because I'm like,
of course you would cry. Just be yourself. Oh, a coaching career. That's crazy.
Let me tell you a story about my final year at uni. Was it my final year or my second year? It was my second year. You know this exam that I said I failed awfully? As I was studying for that exam, I was at my lowest point at uni. Like, you know, like the pressure sometimes, like, is too much. And like, my dad happens to call me and it's like 11 a.m. I'm in the library at uni and I'm just like, and also the library at LSE, like, it's like a spiral staircase. So you're standing up and you're looking down. And I was literally like, I wasn't suicidal, but
never know.
It was giving, like, she's on the edge. Like, literally, there's just a barrier. Like, he calls me by chance at 11. Like, he's not really someone to call me late. And I'm just talking to him and I'm just like, I can't do it. I don't want to do it. And I've got an exam tomorrow. I'm going to fail. It's my last exam, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like breaking down. And he says to me, don't go to the exam.
Wow.
Nigerian man, yeah. Don't go. So I don't know why. I don't know who told you that you have to finish uni. You have to... Let me just cancel that idea that you have. I don't know if you think you're doing it for me. You do not have to do this exam. You do not have to graduate. Like, you do not have to finish. Don't go. Like, he was like, it's not that deep. Like...
That's beautiful, man.
So beautiful. He was like, you don't do it. However... If you wake up in the morning and you feel like you should go, have a shot of whiskey or whatever you have in the house, and just go do your best.
I got that. That is amazing.
So I'm like, you okay? He's like,
That's so beautiful to
You
hear.
don't have to graduate. You do not have to do this. Like, leave. Like, cancel uni. Like, it's not by force. And I'm like, but I need to because everyone is, And obviously the pressure of the A-star student, all of that was
what
on me.
amazing parent.
And
You
he's
know
just
what my
like,
dad would say? If you do not do
if
this
you're
exam, you'll be
feeling-
disowned.
But this shows you where my dad was intellectually, spiritually, right? That he knew the way to get me to go was to say the complete opposite.
Take the pressure off of you.
So he was like, take a shot, go in and write your name. And then whatever happens, happens.
That's beautiful.
Like, and I will always remember that story. And it's so funny because I remember I had a friend who was in a uni with me who was there at the time. And I actually had forgotten this story for a few years, many years. And he relayed it back to me a few years ago. Like, I remember that time overhearing the conversation that your dad had. And obviously, we're all stressed. The second year, oh my God, my life is going to be over if I don't pass. And he overheard this conversation that I was having with my dad. And it affected how he went into his exam the next day.
So a bit more of a
yeah, because he was just
chest
like,
out. Well, yeah, facts, man. I'm not
It's
going
not
to
by
die
fault,
over this.
like-
Isn't it? Yeah.
this is not life or death.
Yeah.
Like, what is the worst that can happen? You just did a year again.
Yeah.
Like, it is what it is. So that goes to show, like, just the kind of person that my dad was. I think he'll be really proud of me. I think he is really proud of me. I think he would be telling me, like, this is just the beginning, though.
But he saw some of your art career, though, isn't it?
He saw some of it. He saw a lot of paintings were in the house, when I was just painting in my house and I didn't share it.
Mm-hmm.
He saw the beginnings of me, like, really carving a legal career that was unique. He saw that. And I think when he passed, he felt confident that, okay, I've left her with enough tools. And also he left me with all of his books that he highlighted and made notes of.
Wait, what year did that?
2021. Yeah.
Oh, he didn't see you get married, though?
He didn't see me get married.
Oh, man.
No, he didn't see me get married. But he met my daughter, my first daughter. He didn't see me get married. So, yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful, man.
Parenting can make a big difference in, like, how you approach life. I think that's shaped how I am as a parent, where I talk to my children. Also, like, he never really spoke to me like I was a child. Like, even when we had issues, like, between ourselves, he leveled with me and was like, okay, well, you may be a bit young to understand the context of where I'm coming from, but I'm not going to sugarcoat life to you. Like, these are the real world issues that, I don't know, men face.
Wow, man. Both of your parents seem very, they seem very, like, level-headed. Like, they don't seem like your typical,
They had moments where they were typicalness because I did get sent back to Nigeria. Let's not
yeah,
forget
but
that
still,
one.
but it almost seems like, from what I'm hearing, it almost seems like even getting sent to Nigeria seemed like the correct thing to do. Like,
It was the
let
right
me
thing to do.
sort her education out right now. We left her inside of a school that we thought was a good school, where this one has racially abused her, where they brought police down to the school for her.
Yeah.
Let me take her outside of this
I
institution.
think my mom was saying that the real reason why they sent me was because I just kept talking about Nigeria like
Like it was a shithole.
yeah.
Oh yeah, because they
Like-
made it seem like hell.
They
yeah.
made it seem like, no, you did that. Like,
Uh-huh.
And I think there was one day when I had a friend that maybe my mom was cooking ogbono soup or something. You know, one of those.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
I love ogbono.
It tastes
yeah.
lovely, but it doesn't smell the nicest
Yeah.
when you walk in.
Uh-huh.
And I come in with my friend, and apparently I was just like opening the windows, and I'd just be like, oh, like, I was just like very dismissive of our cuisine.
Oh wow.
My mom was like, eh. That's when she
Okay.
knew, like, okay,
And
you
now
need to
we
go.
need to give it back.
You need to go back to your roots because for some reason you think that pie and mash is your cuisine. It's not.
No, in saying that as well, obviously being a Nigerian, obviously because I'm getting the impression like your law career was all honky dory and stuff, isn't it? Like, what is it like being a black woman, Nigerian woman in law? Did you ever feel out of place, or did you ever feel black at work?
I'm very aware that throughout my career I've been one of or the only person of colour in the room.
Oh wow.
As far as like earlier on today.
Wow.
Right. So on one hand I'm used to it, but as I've gotten more senior, you know that you had that term code switch.
Yeah.
So I used to code switch a lot. As I've gotten more senior, I code switch less, which is why I went to a board meeting like this. So I was just like, let's not pretend. Like, the reality is, I've been here for 4.5 years on this board. Like, I know my value. I make very good suggestions, and I give you perspectives that you can't even fathom.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether I'm wearing a suit or a denim jacket. I'm giving you the same perspective. So as I've gotten more senior, I've embraced my difference a bit more as my superpower. You know?
Supercell.
Supercell.
Yeah, have you watched it?
Yeah. And also, like, there's a confidence I get from being different. There's a confidence I get, a little bit of power I get from making people feel a bit uncomfortable. Because they know that they're about to say something dodgy. And they look to me and then I'm looking at them like, go on, I dare ya. You know? So it's a game. I learned how to play the game. So there's a time and place to code switch. There's a time and place to like bring out where you're really from. Educate. So like there's certain things, if you say something like, it's weird, like I'm quite neutral on most things, but for some reason I get really triggered if you talk about Africa like it's a country, not a continent. I'm triggered. I don't care who it is. King Charles himself. I will interrupt and say 54 countries on the continent of. Carry on. Like, so there's certain things that I've learned to choose your battles, right? I've learned, like, these are my battles. I remember when like George Floyd was murdered, right? In these boardrooms, the only person of colour, everyone's like, so what's your view of like, how is your experience as a black lawyer? And I'm like, you think I'm going to sit here and tell you about my trials and tribulations so you can get a kick out of this shit? Absolutely not. I'm going to tell you what your view, I'm going to ask you like, what's your experience like as a white lawyer? Because the issue is with you, not me, right? Like, so it's being able to like have that confidence to give an answer that really provokes thought and that inspires change. Like I'll never be in a room like okay. When I first got in those boardrooms, I kind of was happy to be there. Like I am happy to be here. I'm the only one here. And then I started to realize like no, like there's so much value that you get from me. I have to like get rid of the imposter syndrome. Like actually, if I don't go to, and I realized if I don't go to meetings, people call me like, are you not joining? Are you going to join online or? And I realized that, okay, like I've been diminishing my own value because I've carried this thing of like, I'm a woman, I'm a female, I'm a black woman, I'm a this, I'm young and all this kind of stuff. Everyone in there is like senior partners, white. And yesterday someone used the term twice in two different meetings, white, male, pale and stale, right? And I was like, right, so you are actually aware. Like, and these are also white, male and pale stale people that said this, right? So like, you're aware that everyone in this boardroom looks like this, right? If I come in and I'm like, I'm just happy to be here, like, I'm not going to speak up, I'm not going to challenge, I'm wasting my time. So I walk in there like, you're welcome.
I've chosen you guys to be here.
You're welcome. Like, I've taken time out of my day. I put my children in daycare to come and join your meeting for 2 hours. You can take me now. Not later, now.
That's a vibe, man.
Yeah.
How long you reckon it's taken you to build that confidence? Like almost like straight away, you reckon?
I think like my board experience has been 4.5 years. And then just also understanding people and understanding people in power. I'm still learning. But I've noticed that people who are in power often are used to being told yes.
All the time, yeah.
And used to be told that they're clever, that they're right. So the moment you challenge and ask a stupid question, like, what does that mean? It's like...
Or defensive sometimes.
They just get confused.
Oh, this hasn't happened before.
Vulnerable. And then they want to pull you aside and let's take this offline. You know?
You see, like, now... Sometimes, obviously, I know this it cripples me certain times, but I'm wondering, do you go through this? Because obviously, if you're the only black person on the board, is there almost like a sense of responsibility of representing all black people in the world?
Sometimes I feel that like the days where, and I have to catch myself. Like the days where I'm like, hold on a second. I'm not representing all these black people here. Like, it's impossible. It's an impossible task. Like, if you think you are representing everyone, you're set up to fail.
Yeah. 100%.
Represent yourself.
You know, it's crazy. Certain times, I want to do something. Like, but this is like with behavior patterns. I want to wild out on someone or get crazy on someone, but I feel almost like I'm not sure how frequently this person's interacted with black people.
Yeah.
And I don't want black people to be taken back 5 more years in this person's eyes as a result of my action.
Yeah.
So I kind of behave a certain way, innit?
But then sometimes that's part of the problem because then it gives people
freedom to behave in a certain way. They don't know about it.
That is not acceptable in any situation.
I don't want to teach them the right way.
And I feel you. Because it's not every moment that's a teachable moment.
Yeah.
Like, not every person, like, it's not every situation that you have to step in and be like, okay, let me school this person. Sometimes I just be looking at you like, okay.
Now, obviously, there's so many things I can speak to you about, innit? But in regards to, I just want to kind of know this as well. Like, the myth is you can't really have, like, kids, isn't it? And become, and be, like, a lawyer.
I feel like you can now.
Yeah, now you can, isn't it? So how have you found your journey? Do you reckon venturing off and doing art has made, being creative, you reckon that's made motherhood a bit easier for you?
Really harder.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Well, while they're scribbling, you can draw a picture.
Yeah, because a lot of having children, as much as people don't want to admit it, is like financial.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So sometimes I do think, if I just stayed at Clifford Chance.
But wouldn't you be working more, in theory?
I'd be working here, but I would have gotten a proper maternity pay. As a consultant, I had to fund my own maternity twice.
Oh, wow.
That's not a joke. There's a stat that Nutmeg released that 26% of women will go into debt as a result of having a child because of like maternity, low maternity pay, or they didn't know that they didn't get, they weren't aware of their entitlement, or things cost way more than they anticipated and they were able to budget for. So like there are real financial consequences of women having children that men don't have. And that 26% doesn't even account for the effect that it has on our pension. Because when we're not working, we're not paying into our pension. So when it comes to retirement, you're there skipping to the retirement with your fully fledged paid out pension. I haven't paid into my pension for however long that I've had children for. So all these things.
But in theory, you know what I'm saying, you got art pieces, so I'm saying hopefully they appreciate in price and then you sell it for £1 million. You know what I'm saying?
You would hope, but not everyone has
that thing, that
alternative. Sometimes like they have one job. They're a lawyer and they're consulting and they just don't have maternity pay.
And they might even be single mothers as well.
That have no, like they're not pulling their resources from anybody. So I think the art gave me an insight into just diversifying your income, right? So there's sometimes where if I'm not working in a law job and I'm like, I'm sure my friends are so sick of me calling like, how do I make like 5K in the next and I'm like, okay, how do I make 5K in the next many months? I'm like, okay, I either sell one piece at 5K, 5 pieces at 1K. Like I literally go back to I break it down to like rudimentary, like 5 pieces at 1K, like, and I go through that. And then that helps me like understand, like, okay, at least I have something that I can leverage off.
Yeah, that you can do to actually do that.
Something that there's demand. I might have to create the demand, as in tell people about it and create buzz and all the marketing that goes along with selling work, but I've done it already.
What's the most expensive piece you've sold? How much does that cost?
I've sold a piece in the thousands. The average piece is probably like 300, 400.
Yeah, that's still a vibe, man.
Still a vibe, yeah.
And what? At one point, are you going to do accounting for your artwork as in like time spent? And when is that going to be an actual cost?
The good thing about being a lawyer is that we're great at like doing a timesheet. Yeah. So from the get-go, from the moment I started to realize, okay, this could be a viable business. Like I've what do they say? You've confirmed that the business business case, like you validated, you validated the business concept.
Proof of concept.
Yeah. I have proof of concept. I've sold to strangers. That's always the big test. Okay. Like selling to friends and family, that's lovely. But
that's charity. It could be charity.
I've sold to strangers who have just walked in the door. They didn't know who I was. They didn't follow me on Instagram, whatever.
Has my friend reached out to you yet, by the way?
No.
Okay, cool. I'll make sure that happens, isn't it? Yeah.
They've come in, and then I'm like, I used to like have again, my dad was like, you have to document, like, charge. The best advice he gave me in regards to my art career was like, charge as if you're a lawyer. Like, do not distinguish between, my artist rate is this and my lawyer rate is this. Like, if Clifford Chance as a trainee is charging you out at £200 an hour, it was actually $250, and I'm a trainee, then charge yourself out when you're making work. Charge yourself out at £200 an hour. Like, see how much that is. Like, if you spent 3 days doing that piece, that's the value. So when it comes down to like, how do I price this? Price it as like, okay, what's the opportunity cost?
Yeah, of me doing
this
instead of me going to work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel like you asked me a question of like, what's the link between the law and the art? I think the lawyer knowledge has helped me be a better business person in the art world.
Oh, wow, okay.
More than anything.
Sweet. Well, lovely having you. It's been amazing. You know,
I had more questions for you, though.
Then ask me questions then. Feel free.
So, you know, I like that you spoke about imposter syndrome, like, and I want to talk about a bit more about why you feel like, where you feel like that came from. Like, I know
I feel like it came from not fully understanding some of these corporate environments that I went into, and I feel as though, but it got better once I realized that I wasn't alone at it. As in, like, certain times I like to feel as though I know how everything works, isn't it? Like, there'll be a guy sitting in that back row in the corner that I've never interacted with, or my team have never interacted with. Oh, like, what do you do? Oh, I'm a quant for so-and-so. And I'm like, I don't get how that ties in with what I'm doing over here. And it's like, at first it's like, oh, this is all daunting. But I'm thinking everybody knows what's going on. So until I spoke to people, then I'm like, okay, cool. Then maybe I'm just not alone at this. So I think it almost stems from the fact just not knowing. So, and I also, all the time, I always feel in each, like, probably not knowing my actual own value in these environments that I go into 9 times out of 10. But also, it's also probably because I don't think I belong there. I don't think I don't belong in corporate at all. Every time I don't think I belong. I don't think I'm supposed to have a job. Like, I feel like my whole vibe is 9 times out of 10, as in from when I was like 18, I've always been doing something. Yeah. Whether it's been throwing events or as a side hustle, whether it's been owning a Afrobeat website, whether there's always been something that my escape from work has always been that other thing that I've been doing. And it's like, I need that other thing that I'm doing in order to justify being at work. And sometimes I'm inside of the workplace. I've been there in retail, in, commercial banking, all the time. Sometimes I'm at my desk and then I'm looking and I'm like, is this my life? And I get uneasy thinking there's no way I can be doing this for the rest of my life. Every single work environment, 9 times out of 10, the practice what I used to do was, in order for me to mentally be inside of a workplace, I would have to write down my exit date.
Yeah, I'm that person.
And it helps me out. But certain times when people are trying shit, I'm like, well, boy, I'm leaving in August. So you guys can chat shit now, but I'm leaving in August. And that's how my brain works. Certain times, but I have to re-up if I stay inside of an organization for, like, say, 2 or 3 years. But it's like, these places are not for me to be in. I
don't feel like they're not for you to be in. I think sometimes you have to reframe, like I said, we're talking about your purpose and your goal for being there. So, like, going back to, like, when I was at Clifford Chance, I wish, like, I mean, I kind of had an idea that the reason why I was there was just to know that I could get there. Tick. Okay, I'm in the room.
Yeah.
I got in the room. I don't want to be in the room. Like, it's hard for you to say you don't want to be in the room.
Yeah, when
if you haven't never been in there. You step in and you're like, this ain't for me. I can walk away from this with pride, right? So,
or if they didn't want you.
They didn't want you.
Yeah, what's the point?
They pushed you out, but at least you got there and you were able to defend yourself or whatever, right? But sometimes, like, those roles that you've had, I feel like they're not, don't diminish them, right? Sometimes it's either a confirmation of, like, a skill set that you have that you're often devaluing. This is the reason why you got there. Like there's something people are seeing in you for you for them to give you a role that you don't want. Do you know how hard that is to convince someone to pay you for something that you don't want to do?
Facts.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Like, pay you well?
I feel like I'm a good actor though.
No, but then obviously what that is, the underlying thing is like, okay, let's say if I was coaching you, I would do a strength analysis for you and identify your 5 key strengths. And what that is telling me is that you probably have, one of your strengths might be like winning others over, which is a strength. Doesn't matter who it is, what stage of life, you can make them your friend. That is a key strength. And maybe that's what it is that you have. That for some reason, you go into the interview, the person looks at your CV and thinking, fuck, I was on probation.
Yeah. They can't see that on my CV.
Okay,
no
I don't know,
way.
whatever it is.
Oh, Lord, yeah.
But they're looking at your CV and they're like, okay, this person doesn't fit the criteria, like the mold of what we expect. Just like him. I don't know. He might even challenge us. He might even make us uncomfortable, or he might even be too black for us. But for some reason, I can't not give the job to him. That could be your...
And you know what's crazy? What I just realised now as well is one of the reasons, and it might be, I don't know, this is just me like projecting, but one of the reasons why I don't like it, when you were talking about the Clifford Chance and or was it like this interview process, this test and then that test, it's almost like the reason I don't like these drawn out processes is because if you feel as though you're an imposter,
you think you're gonna be found out
you're
at
gonna
any
be found
moment.
out at any one of those points. It's too many traps for them to clock you.
But then you have to kind of like second. So I had an interview the other day, and 3 partners interviewed me. I was feeling very imposter syndrome. Like imposter syndrome kicked in. I was thinking,
that's been a Clifford Chance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, it's not exactly my practice area. It's a bit of a pivot, that kind of stuff. I get to the interview, they're late. So I walk into this conference room, huge conference table, 20 people can sit on this table, and then some. Had a decision to make. I'm there first. Do I sit down and wait? Or do I do the boss move? I thought, I did a boss move.
What's the boss move?
I made myself a coffee. I stood up. I just looked out in the window with my back to the door. Like this, yeah. So they came in and when they turned around, I had my coffee and I just, lovely to see you. Like I was walking them in their own
take a seat.
And they're have a seat.
Help yourself to a coffee.
Because I thought, you know what? Regardless of the outcome of this interview, I'm not going to let anyone make me feel like I am new in this game. I'm 10 years qualified. I'm not new in this game, right? And I think that set the tone for the interview. Because again, it was another one of those interviews where there was no technical questions. In fact, they were convincing me that I shouldn't do the role. They're like, are you sure? Because, I know that, like, you're quite into, like... I didn't even have to talk. People were answering... There was 3 of them. They were answering... One will ask a question. The other one will answer the question for me. So, also, what experience do you have with blah, blah, blah? Well, I know she had this...
What, are they trying to convince you?
I don't even know what it was, but I just feel like... I set the tone. I set the energy for the room. Like, that's how you need to approach any meeting.
Yeah, facts, man. I know I need to do that. Because
any meeting. Like you should be happy I'm here.
Yes, that's what it needs to be. Like,
help yourself to tea and coffee. Like, that needs to be your thing. And also, like, because I just thought, I'm not going to sit here and just imagine the table is huge and I'm there, like, where do I sit? Do I sit here?
Cowering away.
Do I face the window? Do I face the back? I just thought, I am going to act like...
And you'll come across better that way because you're more relaxed anyway.
I'm going to act like I've given you an hour of my time, of my busy day, make it count. And that's the vibe I got. Like, I literally didn't even take off my jacket. Like, I had it
and what sort of interview was this for? What was it for?
I don't want to go into it. Let's
let me see.
Sweet. I'll let you know what the result is. Like,
when are they likely to call you back?
So yeah.
Okay, cool. So based on your last, the one that you mentioned before, it should be about a week or so when they get until their most senior partner hits you up.
I've kind of told them that they have until the end of the week because I'm interviewing elsewhere.
Oh wow!
I'm not interviewing elsewhere, but I've just told them like, don't.
They take the piss. Like I said, I'm still receiving, unfortunately, letters I don't even remember applying for this job.
I was drunk and applying for stuff on LinkedIn.
Yeah, oh my days. I'm so lazy with job applications.
Me too.
You can tell. Just apply.
But I'm so lazy, on LinkedIn that I only apply for easy apply. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, so if they take you to external website, you're like, fuck that shit.
And then let me tell you how lazy I am with job. My CV on LinkedIn that I use for easy apply is 2021. I didn't even update it. I just changed the file name to 2024. Like, it's the same.
Wow.
I cannot be bothered.
In fact, I'm worse. I've still got me working in my old company, innit? LinkedIn, I don't even want people to search me and shit.
Yeah.
I'm not even trying to be like headhunted or anything. People reach out to me all the time, innit? But it's like, I am, it's crazy because really and truly, like when my conversations with God anyway, my vibe is I don't want to work. So God knows this in my heart. The vibe is there's no money that they can give me to make me happy.
Like, she's a gold digger.
No, but
you say I
want to make money.
It's commendable.
No, but I'm saying I want to make money, but I don't want to make money working for these people.
Yeah.
I don't know. And funny enough, which kind of ties into what you were saying earlier. I had a mentor when I was in New York. So I was working for HSBC in New York. I think I must have read some book and it was talking about mentors. How it's good to have one. And I just happened to be in New York, so I got one. One of the things he said, one of the benefits of being black in white organizations is for some reason you've got their ear. They want to know what the black person's saying certain times, isn't it?
Also, I mean, a good person, especially if they're white, they're male, they're older, a person who cares about their job will pull you aside and say, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. Like, I don't know whether I'm saying something right or wrong. Can you be my soundboard? The best thing you can do is say, especially if they're very senior, which in my case, like, yeah, absolutely. Whatever you're scared, you want to put a post out on LinkedIn, you're not sure how it's going to be perceived. Send it to me first.
Wasn't to a post about black people?
No, anything.
Okay, yeah.
Anything. You don't know women. I don't know. I'm not working class, but working class, like whatever it is. I'm happy to be imagine the most senior partner in the firm is coming to me as a junior lawyer.
Asking
like,
for advice, essentially.
Can you read through this? Is it okay? That's
I'm
reverse mentoring.
Yeah. It is.
I'm telling you, like...
They did that to me, in PwC. I'll take this part out. But I had no idea what was going on. They didn't even ask me about this, yeah? They just put in my diary. I'm meeting some senior partners. And I'm like, okay, cool. And we're just speaking about life, speaking about football. It's in my diary, like 2 o'clock every Tuesday or something. And then bear in mind, I'm just new to the company. But obviously, George Floyd didn't happen, isn't it? So everyone's on some... Yeah,
we hear you.
But they didn't tell me. They just put in my diary. So, and I'm like, I don't have no... It was happening basically since I joined the company. And I'm like, I have no idea what this meeting is for. And I'm literally just speaking about life until the partner retired from the company. And then I asked him on the last, this is me, to be completely honest with you, what were these meetings about? And this is it. He explained to me that, it was because of the George Floyd. Mentoring. Yeah, but he said, and then it just became a case of, nice to have a chat. Yeah.
But actually, sometimes people, like we're talking about like progression in the corporate space, as much as we're talking about leaving, but like for those who want to stay in the corporate space and progress to the top, like be aware of who your sponsors and stakeholders are. If you have the opportunity to have the ear of someone very senior, like they're retiring out, tap them for all their network.
You have to in these organizations. That's how you make partner.
That's how you make partner.
Yeah, you have to get. Yeah.
It doesn't matter what your ethnicity or your background is. If you do not have someone who's already there sponsoring your entry into that club as partnership, whether it's PwC or Clifford Chance, you can't get in there. So you need to tap them and it's like, okay, if someone takes a liking to you, even if they may ask questions that maybe upset you a little bit or a bit like, sometimes like, as long as you're comfortable, follow through with it and just build that relationship and use it to your advantage. So I'll start asking them questions. So like, okay, so when did you become partner?
Oh yeah, I found out. Yeah, I was finding out all of those.
Yeah.
So
what did you bring to the table? Or what was the application process like? And get the details. And then when they start realizing, okay, this person is interested, who can you connect with me with, like, who?
Yeah, things will just start happening for you. They'll be like, they'll start speaking to that person. Oh, yeah. Oh, get Dammy Lola involved in this project and stuff, isn't it? Yeah.
And I feel like that's actually one of your strengths that you underestimate.
Oh, you're coaching me right now, yeah.
Right now, for sure.
Okay.
Is that people have a natural, like, affinity to trust you.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's that I'm just going to hire you, I don't know why, or I'm going to keep showing up, because that person of that seniority didn't actually have to need to keep showing up to those weekly appointments. Like, no. I'm going to keep showing up because actually he was gaining something from it, even if it was just different perspective, a bit of fun. You probably made them laugh.
Yeah, great chat, vibe.
And actually, I like you. And I've now built a friendship that in any other circumstance, I would not.
Never have.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like...
And I'm just a cool person. I'm not going to lie. I am actually... You know what's crazy? I'm so cool. Like, everyone at work wants to be my friend, isn't it?
I'll be very surprised if I ran your strengths test if winning others over wasn't one of your strengths.
Hey, wait. Oh, man. Do you actually diagnose people with these?
So... I don't like to reinvent the wheel. There's a lot of systems that are already in place that are quite established. So I use, like, you know, people talk about like your personality test, Myers-Briggs, or whatever. I don't use those. I use something similar, which is focus on strength. And this came from my dad's insight, which was, he told me, like, stop forget about your weaknesses. If you focus on your 5 strengths, you don't actually have to. No one cares about your weaknesses.
Just do your strengths really, really well. Yeah,
those are your strengths,
isn't it? Yeah.
So I was like, that makes sense. So I started to focus on my strengths, which are strategic thinking, futuristic. I'm also a winning others over person. Analytical. Anything that's like connecting dots, future gazing, strategy. I'm the person.
Oh, okay.
Right? And it made sense because, like, okay, that's why people are taking me to pitches, or that's why I'm on boards and people asking me for my opinion, and I'm basically telling the future without realizing, or, you know. So I use something that is a strengths-based way of finding out, like, what works for you.
What's that called? Is it called?
It's Gallup Strength Finder.
Gallup Strength. Well, do people pay you for like consultations?
Absolutely.
It's like, so what I received right now, that was not a full-on.
No.
Oh, okay, cool.
So that was
maybe we should record one day.
Like, I thought, that would be good actually.
That'll be good, isn't it? Yeah.
Because you know what? So typically, like, so what we had was maybe how the introductory session would go. I always do a free one. So, like, it's a vibe. Like, do you want to be coached by me? Do I actually want to coach you? Because one of the things that I've learned also as I've gotten more senior is I'm happy to fire clients. I'll fire you. Like, I'm not interested. You can't pay me enough. You can't pay me enough money to stress me out or make me feel some way. So
has that happened before?
I fired a client before. Yeah, definitely. Not as not a coaching client, but like a law firm.
Oh, okay.
Like my own practice. I fired someone because I was just like, you're
bad work. I don't like dealing with you.
You make everything ugly.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, so like the introductory chat would be like what we're having now, and then I'll do like there's usually like people buy 5 sessions. Then I would do like an.
How much is a session usually?
Ooh.
Can this vary?
It varies.
Oh, okay.
It varies.
And what are the parameters to make it vary?
So it varies based on seniority.
The level. Okay, yeah.
It varies. Like, so for instance, I do discounted rates. I don't advertise the discounted rates because I do it's discretionary. But if you are a student, if you are a person who you've come and told me, like, I'm in a transition, I have no money, I'll give it to you for free pretty much. I'll give it to you. What can you pay? You tell me you can pay £20. I'm like I am that person that I'm more interested in helping you. But for those who are, I'm looking at the camera now. For those who are professionals, it's like £200 a session.
That's a vibe, man.
Yeah.
What? And you do this what? And this is just a personal business.
It's one-on-one. Like it's not. I've only just started to advertise it, but it's something I've been doing for years.
And your dad gave you that book on it.
2013, yeah.
Well, which way do you reckon? Do you reckon you leaned into it because your dad gave you the book, or was the book you looked in the book after the fact and was like, oh my god?
Combination. I think it was a combination, like conversations that I had with him where I was like, okay, like I'm talking about the stuff I'm doing, and he'd be like, yeah, that's coaching, and I'm like, okay, but I'm not paying attention. It's like because he kept saying to me, you need to go and look into NLP. That's neuro-linguistic programming. Or you need to look into like strength finders, which is what I use. And I'm not paying any attention. I'm like, yeah. And then years will pass and I'll look into it. And I'm like, oh, this is really good. I'm like, I told you. So, and like the strength one was like, okay, almost a confirmation, like, okay, my dad actually knows what the heck he's talking about. Like, you know, because I did that test and those strengths just helped me understand like so much about myself, like of why I hated certain things in the corporate space, like why things weren't working for me. Like, so I'm a transactional lawyer and those strengths help me make sense as to why I don't like to do things that are like 12 months, 2 years, like.
Well, it needs to be quick.
Because I'm an activator. One of my strengths is I'm an activator. So I get energized by like, let's sit down, think of the plan, get the plan together, launch. And then I'm like, call me at the end. Like, I'm not the person that will be prodding along.
Everything with you seems to be short term for some reason then, isn't it?
Short term, but this is again knowing my strengths. Like, so before I would see it as like, oh, it's a flaw of mine. Like, oh, you can't follow things through. Like, actually,
no, but you get shit done.
My strength is, at the start, I'm great at getting you going. And then you have to go. I'm not going to run the race with you. I'll prepare you for the marathon. And then once the gun goes, you're on your own. I'll meet you at the end. And now that I know that about myself, everything just makes sense.
This is beautiful, though. I like this idea of focusing on your strengths.
Yeah.
Because I know one of my strengths is like kind of what you're saying in regards to I know how to get traction for things, isn't it? It's like, for instance, even look at this fucking setup right now over here. I'm literally getting traction online from a bunch of stuff that I'm doing with my mobile phones. And I had my full-on plan of doing it. I told myself, listen, no one watches me. I don't give a fuck. I'm doing it for a year regardless, isn't it? And then I used to get traction. And like literally everything that I kind of do gets a bit of traction. Like my events and stuff, isn't it? Gets a bit of traction, isn't it? So I'm able to market and do things to at least make people interested in what I am doing for a period of time, isn't it? Yeah. And that's a nice strength that I know I definitely have.
So I would say your strengths are, just from this conversation only, winning others over, ideation.
So what does that mean?
Ideation means like you're an ideas person. Like,
okay.
And that's based on the fact that you told me like, since you can remember, you're doing something outside. Yeah. Always have the hustles, always... Basically, you see the opportunity in places that people don't see opportunity, right? That's ideation. You're someone like, here's the idea. Here's how we make it work. Whether you are someone that wants to execute the whole follow through, it's a different thing. But the initial period, the idea, the detail, the putting the plan together, you can do that in your sleep. Other people literally struggle. You probably can do it, and you literally will do it. When I say in your sleep, I mean literally. You'll wake up and be like, I've done it. I thought about it. And
then one of my friends told me the other, which is beautiful to hear. He said, and it's nice when somebody else says it about. He's like, basically, Dami is someone that gets the job done. Yeah. Which is a vibe, because I don't care about glitz and glam and stuff, isn't it? Like for instance, I know like a design and making things aesthetically beautiful. That's not really my thing. Like if someone's giving me some ideas about it, cool, I'll take the ideas on board and then do it that way. But really and truly, if I've got a goal to complete, I will get the goal done to the best of my ability. Yeah. But all of that like garnish and stuff, isn't it? I don't really care for like that. It's nice, but I'll rather just do the job at hand. But he said, yeah, Dami's a guy that gets the job done.
Let's do a coaching session.
Beautiful, man.
And we'll do your strengths.
Yeah. Should we do it on camera? That'd be great.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
And I think there won't be anything that will surprise you. But all it will do is give you the language to express why you do certain things. Like you said, your friend right there told you that you get things done. There's a strength for that. I don't know how they will phrase it, but it'll give you a title. So like, if you are in an interview or whatever, and they say, what are your key strengths? You'll be able to say, I'm this, and this. Like, I keep bringing up the winning others over in the strength finder. They call it woo, right? Like wooing people. When I read that, my jaw was to the floor because the description was so accurate.
What you like, already?
It was like, I genuinely get engaged from talking to anybody. You could be sweeping the street. You could be flying the plane. It doesn't matter what level of seniority. I will find. I'm interested in you. Like, I'm not looking for common ground. I'm interested in like
what's what's going on here? Yeah.
Like, what do you like? What tick makes you tick? Like, what makes you excited? Like, it doesn't matter where you're from. The description was so accurate, and I was just like, and then it will tell you like, okay, here's how to manage someone with that trait, right? So then I'm able to go into the corporate space or my supervisor or whatever and say like, okay, don't micromanage me because I'm an activator. Give me a variety of deals because I get bored easily.
Yeah, listen. Well, if you're performing and it makes you better, I guess that it's in their benefit to listen.
If I've told you and you don't listen, that's on you. But at least I've told you. And actually, this is why I feel like everyone needs to focus on their strengths. Because then if you're having regular appraisals, you put that in your appraisal. So then your supervisor has to listen. I told you I'm an activator. But you keep putting me on deals that I'm the 12th person to carry on this deal. Like, it's been going on for 4 years. I told you I'm an activator. So take me to the pitch. Like, it doesn't get any clearer than that, right? So being able to articulate what your needs are, articulate what your strengths are, articulate where your flavor is really important.
All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, when we're doing this session anyway, man?
We can do it whenever you want.
Okay, so I'll put that in your diary. But beautiful, I feel like we've got great content. What, is this still going? That's still on.
It's still on.
Yes! We
2
survived!
hours. We're done.
Tell you what's changed right now. In a different field, different lane right now. Now I'm in the mud, switching lanes right now. Passive income getting paid right now. Used to roll around with sinners, bulldozers and killers. Now we focused on figures. 3-course meals for dinners. 5-star suites and villas. Now the swag hit different. Cause the bag is different.
Just calm down.
Well, the tab is